station celebrating 65 years of broadcasting.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
24 hours after center Neemias Queta had a career night for the Celtics, first-round draft pick Hugo Gonzalez came through in a big way, and the Green won for the second time in as many nights, 108-81 in Milwaukee. Gonzalez had 18 points and 16 rebounds, and during an evening when the Green didn't have Jaylen Brown either, they had leads of at least 20 points in the second, third, and fourth quarters. They'll have tonight off. They're back home to play Charlotte tomorrow evening. Bruins play tonight at home against Pittsburgh. Sidney Crosby out for the visitors after hurting himself in the Olympics. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. GM Don Sweeney told the media yesterday he plans to try and add before the trade deadline.
We would like to continue to improve our hockey club if possible, and exploring opportunities to do so with the intention of obviously giving our team that has done a pretty good job so far.
The deadline is on Friday. The Celtics won an exhibition game yesterday, 7-6 over Toronto in Dunedin, Florida. Johan Oviedo continued his push for a spot in the rotation with 3 shutout innings. Sox are back in Fort Myers tonight to play the Puerto Rican World Baseball Classic team. And the NFL deadline to use the franchisor transition tag is 4 p.m. this afternoon. Also, Detroit yesterday traded running back David Montgomery to Houston, and Washington released former Pro Bowl defensive back Marshawn Lattimore. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Awaken 180. We all love the word free, so does Awaken 180. Medication free, side effect free, and free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Boston Talk Sports.
Trade Drake May.
We all know what, but we won't say what. Yeah, worst take on these airwaves in the last 24 hours.
We may not take a call today.
The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah. Boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go. I'm going to deal with that in full. I'll eat it all.
Yeah.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
Something like sacred, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Channel 5 News, what's up?
What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know. Hey.
Well, I'm chasing some ass.
Yeah, Shia. You'd love that ass. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Very exciting show on the way today. I was perusing Instagram as my want. I am addicted to it as everyone else. And this is a two-part thing. The Washington Post, which I do not follow, but it came up on my algorithm, says you can see the internet stereotypes via ChatGPT, which I've never used. I've yet to use ChatGPT. I know people my age that swear by it, but I've not used it.
Okay. So you can see the internet stereotypes using ChatGPT.
Right.
Okay.
So and then they start with a light one that is a little off. They say you can see the internet stereotypes about Hawaiian pizza through the ChatGPT's responses. The chatbot ranked Honolulu near the bottom of places with better pizza.
Oh, I see what they're doing. All right.
But Boston did very well. New York did very well. Detroit did okay, but not great, which is a little strange. Buffalo did very well, like the best, which I don't know that about Buffalo. Chicago did the best. Minneapolis did the best. L.A. did the best. over Detroit, Hardy. This is very upsetting. Portland, Oregon did the best.
Over now, this is all with regard to pizza.
This is all in regard to pizza. Tampa did okay. Chicago again. Laredo, Texas, very bad. El Paso, very bad.
Yeah.
They don't bother with New Mexico. They don't bother with that. There's nothing. There's a lot of places with no diamonds.
You get green chili on your pizza in New Mexico.
Oh,
Hatch green chili.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Really?
great. But
No, not according to ChatGPT.
Chicago deep dish pizza is not even pizza. So why is that part of this conversation?
Even if it
ChatGPT.
was, it's not that. I mean, it's not something that people seek out. I mean, I guess they do when they're in Chicago.
Yeah. Well,
I find it very difficult to believe people in Chicago eat Chicago deep dish pizza as the pizza that they eat.
They made a big thing of it on the Bear, and there was that woman who was, in Chicago and didn't get a chance to try deep dish pizza. So when what's his name was working at that really nice restaurant, he ran down the street and bought one, and then they replated it, heated it up, cut it up in a fancy way.
Yeah, they put it in circles. I
That's
did
right.
See that. But this is where it gets very interesting. And it just shows you the flaws in artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Similar experiments using AI image generators expose stereotypes such as AI tools generally showing quote-unquote attractive people as younger and light-skinned. When researchers asked about specific cities, ChatGPT picked the areas with the larger white population. So forget about the white-black thing, but and just focus on where they said the attractive people are. Mm-hmm. It's not easy to...
ChatGPT is probably picking out young people with big breasts and all kinds of dumb stuff.
Yeah, probably. But I would hesitate to tell you that that's the truth. Now, it's not a perfect thing. They're triangles pointed up or down in brown. With the way they did this, it's not what ChatGPT did. Brown,
what?
The darker shade of brown with the arrow pointed down means the least attractive. Blue, and then blue with like a darker blue means the most attractive.
Okay.
Would you care to guess where the most attractive people live?
According to ChatGPT,
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
Jacksonville.
Los Angeles is not one of the places with like the hottest women, which is ridiculous because Los Angeles is the hottest women.
Where all the hottest women go.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, it's very easy to know where the hottest women are. It's the cultural centers in the various regions. It doesn't take much. West Coast, in fact, it looks here that San Francisco has more attractive women than Los Angeles, according to ChatGPT, which is absolutely a complete falsehood. Right. But if Los Angeles is not it, but San Diego is one. Would anyone care to guess? It should just be a matter of throwing them out. It's not. Should be talking not like right now. Okay, well, no one's doing.
No, but Adam was talking to me. I have no idea what.
Well, that's not, Adam shouldn't be talking to you. You should be listening
Adam,
to me.
don't talk to me.
Not during breaks so much. All right. What did he say?
He said Sarge GPT may have something to say about this.
Okay. Well, all right. Well,
it's actually a pretty good suggestion.
Yeah, we'll write it down. All right. So here we go. Just name a city.
Dallas.
Yes.
Phoenix.
No.
Minneapolis.
Okay, well, John's doing his sarcastic thing again.
No, I'm not. You just said
Chicago?
start throwing them out.
Chicago has an up arrow, but not one of the hottest.
Atlanta? No.
Yes.
Atlanta. Okay.
But not the hottest. There are Dallas was one. San Diego is another.
Okay.
There's two more with the hottest.
Phoenix.
You already said Phoenix. John,
No,
don't
it
participate.
can't be New York.
New York. Well, New York City has
Yeah,
hot
I mean,
chicks.
there's so many people. Yes, there are lots.
Well,
of
no,
lots.
it's all modeling and acting and
Yeah.
stuff. Like of
Philadelphia.
All right, we'll pretend you didn't say that. Philadelphia, it looks like has the ugliest.
Oh,
It's one of the places with the ugliest people.
Well, if Boston has the good-looking
or
people,
Newark, but Newark, Philadelphia, same difference.
they say that Boston has the best-looking people, then just blow up the internet and start all over.
Funny you should say that.
Oh, God.
It doesn't have the most beautiful people, but it has an up arrow.
Damn right it does.
It's AI, baby.
Hell yeah.
It has an up arrow, which is
That's a big NO from Sarge GPT.
which is an absolute disgrace. Oh. That is right there. Throw ChatGPT out the window.
Correctamundo.
Throw ChatGPT out the window. It is done. New York, Miami, Nashville, Dallas, and San Diego have, according to my...
Nashville, that makes sense.
Now, the ugliest people. Now, you can take away a lot of states. Like anything in the upper Midwest, there's nothing in there. No arrows at all.
Okay.
And you're never going to get this. Wichita is one of the ugliest states or cities. Laredo, Texas, I don't know, is one of the ugliest cities. You'll never get those. But I already told you Philadelphia is one of the ugliest cities, but Newark, Philadelphia, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
There's one more major city that's the ugliest people.
Major city, ugliest people, Kansas City?
No, but it seems to favor. Well, I guess not if Laredo. I can't tell where Kansas City would be on here. Wichita, Kansas City is ugly, but not one of the ugliest.
New Orleans?
New Orleans isn't on here. No, it is. It's up. It's an up arrow. It's good-looking people.
Seattle?
Ooh, that's a good guess.
No, up.
Wow. Don't know.
You guys are pretty bad at this.
Well, you barely know what you're talking about. Your up arrows, down arrows. It doesn't have this.
Ugly,
it doesn't have
good-looking.
this. Yeah, but
Well, I just gave you a hint. It's not like North Dakota.
But you're also asking us to guess things that are going to be wrong.
Right.
Well,
but
It's somewhat of a convoluted exercise.
It's well, listen, like it's not ridiculous, but it's certainly better looking than Boston. Detroit is one of the ugliest.
All right.
And Minneapolis is one of the ugliest.
See, I don't think that's right.
Milwaukee's one of the ugliest.
I don't think that's right.
But Detroit is, but those are ugly. But Detroit, Newark, Laredo.
Anything in Minnesota is wrong. They've got just generations of that Nordic inbreeding. You get some beautiful people out of the Twin Cities.
I haven't
don't
spent
see
enough
them for
time
about
there.
4 months.
I haven't spent them. That's a weather joke. I have not seen many 4 months, 6 months.
The best looking people I've ever seen on the planet were all congregated in one area in the Southwest. Would you care to guess what city? And I mean, men, women, everyone appeared to be in their late 20s at the height of physical fitness and put together, but not in a fake way.
Well, a fake way makes you skewed. So I don't know.
No, I mean, like empirically gorgeous specimens. Put these people front and center when the aliens show up and say, you really want to destroy this? Look at these people.
I would say Los Angeles because Los Angeles is where I saw hot girls working at fast food restaurants and on the bus.
Negatory. Good buddy.
All right, go ahead.
It's in Arizona, and it's not Phoenix.
Tucson?
Sedona.
Sedona's close. Scottsdale. Scottsdale.
Oh, that's Phoenix.
Well, it's Scottsdale.
Yeah, but that's a suburb of Phoenix, essentially.
All right.
All right.
Well, it's a big enough city to where it has its own name and zip code.
It's part of the metro Phoenix area.
Go to downtown Phoenix, you're not going to see beautiful people. Go to Scottsdale. Hang around in Scottsdale. Every person you see is, holy crap, that guy or that girl, they're perfect. And they're all walking around in Scottsdale. That's where they live.
How far away is Scottsdale from Phoenix?
Ask Fred. He's the freaking Arizona
Well, we had
expert.
dinner in Scottsdale when we were in Phoenix.
That's what I was going to say.
Where'd you eat?
Well, you were there, too.
With you?
Yeah.
Yes. You were there that night.
Oh, I remember having dinner in Houston.
No, we all met for a steak dinner in Scottsdale.
Ah.
Yeah. I think we went to Scottsdale a couple times.
Well, put it this way, not a long car ride.
It's 12 miles.
Yeah.
I just put it in my GPS.
So it's Natick, basically.
Yes, it's Natick. It's Natick from Boston.
Yeah.
Mind if I share a page ripped out of the diary of your story, Fred, from your drinking days?
Of what?
The dinner in Houston. It's not bad.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't remember.
It was just we met for dinner at this steakhouse in Houston, and it was the morning show and me and like maybe one other person, and nobody was drinking. And Fred, you said, "Well, I'm just going to order a bottle of wine for myself." And I turned to the waiter and I said, "I will take my steak to go. Thank you." He just, "Sir, this is a very nice steak. Yeah, put it in a styrofoam container." And I will see you gentlemen tomorrow. Maybe not all of you. Goodbye.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
I don't remember that at all.
No.
It's very funny, but I don't remember it.
No one else was drinking wine?
Nobody was drinking, period, I don't think. He said, I'll just
At
have
dinner in Houston?
Yeah.
I wonder why that was.
Yeah, there's a bunch of nerds.
No, but it wasn't like you didn't drink.
No.
But like Rich,
John was and Dan O'Brien was there and
Dan O'Brien was in Houston? Dan O'Brien wasn't in Houston.
Dan O'Brien was here. He wasn't in Houston.
Wasn't Dan?
It
Maybe
was Fred, Rich, myself. I think Mike was there. You were there.
Mike who?
Thomas.
Oh. Mike Thomas didn't drink at dinner? Now I find that very difficult to believe.
Thomas was at that dinner?
And if Thomas was at that
yes.
dinner, I wouldn't have ordered a bottle of wine for myself.
Yeah, I don't think Mike Thomas was there.
Yeah, and Thomas would have drank, and there's no way that I would have ordered a bottle of wine for myself. I don't doubt I did that, but there's no way I would have ordered a bottle of wine for myself if Mike Thomas was there. If my boss was there, I wouldn't have done that.
That was like toward the tail end of that very long trip because I'd done the drive for 5.
Oh, that's right.
Leading up to the week in Houston, and I had run out of clothes, and I refused to do laundry with like 3 days left on the trip. And I just needed like socks, underwear, and like a couple of shirts. So I found a Joseph A. Banks store in downtown Houston, and I went to that store first and then met you guys at the restaurant.
You know what's interesting is that certainly it's not normal to order a bottle of wine for yourself at dinner. But I will say this. If we were at a good steakhouse and I wanted wine and no one else was drinking wine with steak, which is generally the course of action, I can actually, even with my non-drinking eyes, see why I did that. Because a bottle of wine is...
How about a glass?
I would have wanted more than one glass of wine. So then you're in this like...
The waiter comes around again.
No, but then but seriously, like a 9-ounce glass of wine at a steakhouse is probably $20 some odd. I probably bought a $60 bottle of wine. So I would just, even if I didn't finish the bottle of wine, which I'm sure I did, but even if I didn't, and I probably was also thinking, do you have 2 martinis and then a glass of wine, or do you just drink wine? So now it does seem crazy, but I understand what I was doing in a way. I was drinking a lot, but I understand what I was doing in a way. But I don't think I got messed up in Houston. I don't recall. I don't think I got messed up at any of those Super Bowls, really. They were horrible.
Well, it's too tough to get up and work that early. The next
Certainly
day.
not Phoenix.
No, and not Houston. No, I never got drunk. I know I never got drunk in Indianapolis. And I remember I behaved myself in Atlanta because I was going out with friends every night, and I was like telling them I got to leave. Now I drank every night, but I never like tore it up at a Super Bowl. That I can tell you.
Have you ever sat in a bar and drank so much that the bartender left
Yes.
the bottle?
Oh, no. I haven't done that.
Well.
But I thought anything you say, I was going to say yes. I thought you were going to say cut off or anything like that. Yeah.
Well, picture yourself as one of the bigger douchebags on the planet. Okay? Picture yourself sitting in a video poker bar at about, let's call it 3 o'clock in the morning because they don't close and they're 24/7. And the bartender is so tired of walking over and pouring you shots of, remember the douchebag part, Jägermeister.
Oh, yeah. I loved Jaeger.
That the bartender says, here. Boom. and sets the bottle down on the bar in front of me and says, "Just pour him yourself, hon." I said, "Thank you." I will now proceed to go further into debt with cash advances on my credit card while I play video poker and have to go to the bathroom every 15 minutes.
That's the problem with Jaeger, though, is that you can just keep doing shots of it because it's like not. It's not like vodka or whiskey. It's not. What is Jaeger? 40 proof.
Oh yeah. It's it's not bad.
No, it's not like super like there's that thing because Metallica did that thing like about how Jägermeister gets you super drunk. But the thing is that Jägermeister is easy to shoot because it's not like super
70.
Oh, it is 70?
It's 70 proof.
Really?
Whoa.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Whoops. Oh boy. Because Fireball's
No,
not
70, which is 35% alcohol.
Okay,
70
so what,
proof.
Okay, so what's whiskey? Like what's Jack Daniels?
80.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's
so
a little less than Jack Daniels, yeah.
Yeah, but still plenty. That's funny. I always assumed it was like 40 proof.
Oh God, does the devil's threesome? Jaeger, blow, and video poker, and one just fuels the other. You know, you just sit there and oh.
But that's the thing is that I would be drinking beer and like you know how some guys can drink like 100 beers. For a lot of reasons, I didn't like doing that. One, it doesn't get you drunk, and then two, it would start making me sick.
Yeah.
So what I would do is because I was so responsible, is I would have like 2 beers and then just start doing Jaeger shots.
Smart. I would drink Jaeger on the rocks.
That's classy.
It was. I'd have a shot of Jaeger, but then I'd have a Jaeger back. You know, while wearing an ascot.
That's pretty funny. But I can't imagine that was odd in Vegas, like residential Vegas. Like that there had to be more people like you than not like you.
Oh yeah, well, you know, I eventually had to go to a different bar where the bartender was exactly like me, and we would just cut up rails right there on the bar.
Oh yeah,
no reason to go in the back room. It's 4:00 in the morning at the Royal Frog, you know, which was located in a strip mall with an escort service up on top, and I mean. There was nobody coming in there.
No.
So, yeah.
You were by yourself?
He and I were buddies.
Of course.
Yeah, we just sit there and...
Royal Frog.
Yeah, that's still there?
But so there was an escort place on top. So that means that there had to have been escorts, like, not working at the bar. See, that just seems like a big batch of trouble. You're in your 20s. You're on the radio. You have weird hours. Because that's like Atlanta with strip clubs. Like when strippers become civilians, it's much different because I mean these strippers weren't like crazy sex workers, but like it seems like you would be in a lot of situations with like off hours escorts. So like there would be like an opportunity where you would be like in relationships with escorts. Like not paying them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, and
I certainly would have.
Yeah,
I can tell you that right now.
I'm sure,
I would have been so proud of myself too. I'm having sex with an escort for free.
They were around, and but you're like you become like so myopic, and the only thing that matters is like the drugs and the gambling and the alcohol, and it's like that, especially with Coke, it's like. Once you get to a certain point with it, and I got to that point, like anything amorous did not enter the equation.
Sure,
I'm like not interested in romance in any way.
Right, yeah. And physically, I understand it can be very difficult.
Yeah, that's the whole situation.
Yeah, it's interesting because I know exactly, and this makes me a worse person than you, is I know exactly that I would have been like, because I'm sure the escorts are super hot, like in kind of that one way. Like that, like very sex way, like that, like they just like ooze sex.
Yeah,
and I would have been like just enraptured, and I would have been so pleased. I wouldn't have paid, but I would have been like, but it's 4 a.m. and you have drugs and like da 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 da, and they're hanging out. And very similar to like the stripper situation in Atlanta. And I know No, I would have ended up like dating hookers and everything else. I know I would have in my early 20s. Absolutely. Not like I wouldn't have fallen in love with them, but I can guarantee you, like I would have, like they would have had known where I lived and come over and stuff. That I can tell you.
I want to see if I can find the street view. The Royal Frog, no longer an open establishment, but I'll see if I can find the photo of the outdoor of the place, just so you can see. I went back in there once I had, decided to stop and everything was done, and I went in there with a buddy. I'm like, look, I actually have a marker here, and and I wanted to pay it off.
Oh yeah, okay, good.
Is this it?
No.
Hardy, right here.
I'll take a look.
Yeah,
but I wanted to pay it off. That was part of the thing.
Yeah,
right?
I understand.
Right?
I get what you're doing.
And first of all, the manager's like, "What are you doing?" You owe us $300 from 6 months ago. Like, no one's gonna hunt you down for this. I'm like, nah, I just gotta do it. And I walked out with my buddy. And he said, "That place is freaking tragic." And I said, "Yes, it is."
That's
It is.
and you know what? If I would have told you, I would have gone. It's probably better for everyone if you don't go in there and try to pay the marker, because you're just reminding
Well,
everyone.
why do you think I brought him with me?
Yeah, no, I know, but no, because I just think you're making everyone in there feel bad.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. No, I know why you did it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you did it with the best intentions. But from an outsider's perspective, I can see why they were like, "Get out of here!"
Yeah.
Like, why are you reminding us, like, of what we're doing? Like, like, all right, there, golden boy. Like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
6 months sober, got the world by the balls.
Exactly. All right, you're casting judgment upon us now, and like saying we need your money. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. The Celtics played last night in a real humdinger. We'll be back in just a moment.
More Toucher and that, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Todger and Hardy
That's what I want on my tombstone.
on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch the game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, there was a big basketball contest in the Midwest last evening.
Yes, in Milwaukee, where now we're 2 games back, where after we thought maybe Jason Tatum would return on Sunday night, not back.
Well, John thinks he's returning when?
This week, probably. I'm pointing towards tomorrow again at home against Charlotte, because today, ladies and gentlemen, is Jason Tatum's birthday. So this is right around the time that he had wanted to return. They have home games tomorrow night and Friday night. I think it will be one of those two.
Is that the one that we kind of circled with Max a few weeks ago and said that makes sense with the number of games that they have left?
Yes.
Charlotte, that's a nice landing spot.
I think he meant at Charlotte because he was saying that he'd want to do it on the road, but I might be wrong.
I thought the idea was to get the big pop at home.
No, he said that if it was him, he'd want to do it on the road.
Yes.
Well,
that I do remember.
Well, they were on the road last night in Milwaukee, again, without Jason Tatum and without Jaylen Brown. Do you know who was in the lineup last night for Milwaukee? Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Close enough.
I got it. He's been dealing with a right calf. He's back in last night, so the Celtics are going to have their hands full, right? Don't you worry about it.
Pritchard to Hauser, right side, 3 in the air, way short, long rebound. Hauser's got it. He can launch and hit, falling away from the elbow to beat the buzzer. Sam Hauser couldn't put it in the ocean against the Bucks in the first 2 games of this season.
Remember?
But there, chases his own miss, hits from the left elbow.
Remember, we all were like, "Oh, Hauser can't score against
couldn't
Milwaukee."
hit a bull in the ass with a fistful of rice from 3 feet away, but he was doing it last night.
Yeah, we were very into that storyline.
Your starting lineup last night: Hauser, Vucevic, Derek White, Baylor Shireman, and Ugo Gonzalez. And they rolled all over Milwaukee. Got up early.
The Celtics winning every 50-50 ball. Diagonally, Pritchard to Ugo, steps in the paint, scored, and the foul. This is not pretty to watch. Timeout, Doc Rivers.
Well, it's in Milwaukee,
So what do you say
which
for
we
Doc
saw
right
Chad
now?
BT said very ugly.
Good point. That's right. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. What do you say for your Doc right now? Because these guys aren't competing. I mean, you did
Say
it
nurse,
early on, but
please.
now,
Up 20 in the first half. How about 22?
Boston with the lead, 6:56 to go in the first half. Pritchard, push pass for Ugo Gonzalez. One dribble handoff gives Derek White a clean look at the right side 3, and he drills it. So the Celtics all of a sudden have hit 3 of the last 4 after starting 5 of 17 from distance.
Well, they righted the ship quickly, and the Celtics would roll to a 108-81 victory. Afterward, Sean Grande.
All year, they've been telling the Celtics, well, you can't win this game, you can't win this game, and here's why. You can't win this game, and here's why. Tonight, 5th game in 7 nights, 2nd night of a back-to-back. They said it wasn't going to be close, and guess what? It wasn't. As the Celtics beat Milwaukee 108-81.
What's going on?
Well, that's
What's the need to do this? He's such a wrestling nerd. Like, it's all wrestling. I heard some of the broadcast of one of the games. Maybe it was 2 nights ago, and he was babbling about wrestling.
Brutality.
It's all like all wrestling nonsense with him. They all said that he's like Sergeant Slaughter. They all said that they couldn't win. No one said anything. No one said anything. No one. I bet you 99% of the population was surprised that they were playing last night. Oh, they're on? Okay. That's nice. Everyone, it was a constant state of conversation. No one could shut up about it.
Yeah.
He's such a wrestling dork. I mean, I've decided that's what it is, because he was going out. You should have heard Max. He was so engaged. He was talking about how CM Punk. This I remember what it was. I should have had. I couldn't have told Ryan when it was, so it would have not been any good. But he's like, CM Punk is gonna come out in Chicago, like blah blah blah. CM Punk's coming out in Chicago, and it's gonna be cool, and you got to see CM Punk, and just silence. Nothing from Max. He's like, you nerd.
Quack
just this nonsense. I don't know how he got into it. Probably something Vucevic or something because of Chicago and Vucevic got into it with who'd they play on Sunday night? Philadelphia.
Yes.
Maybe he had gotten into it with someone in Philadelphia when he was on Chicago. I don't know. It got him into some. I was barely listening. I was in the shower, but then he got into some CM Punk Chicago wrestling thing, and that's what it is. Now I know what it is. It's like he's doing a wrestling spot. Like, no one said, brother, that we could come in here and win this Monday night game and march against Milwaukee.
Second night of a back-to-back. No Jaylen Brown. Course, fifth game in 7 nights. People are going to be tired.
Giannis back in the lineup.
Giannis back in the lineup. No one said we could win this game. And look at that. Blowout win.
He did it in his own head.
History beckons the Macho Man.
Yeah. History shows back-to-back, brother. We couldn't beat a 26-34 Milwaukee Bucks team. It just, he thinks everyone, I don't think he even thinks it. But it's just that everyone is slighting the Celtics at every turn. And everyone's breaking down all 82 games like you wouldn't believe. It's just nonsense.
Peyton Pritchard led all scorers last night with 25 points.
Who would have thought?
But both.
A couple of bad nights.
Derek White and Hugo Gonzalez scored 18. Gonzalez, huge night. Here's his teammate Sam Hauser talking about it.
You know what? All credit to them because, that gets him more minutes if he's doing stuff like that. And honestly, it helps us a lot in general as a team. So if he can keep doing that for us, that's awesome.
18 points, 16 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Not since Larry Bird has a player put together a stat line like that, a rookie.
Yes.
In their rookie year. And I saw Abby interviewing Gonzalez after the game, and I desperately wanted him to answer because she says, that puts you in the company of Larry Bird, the last rookie to have a performance like that. What do you think? I so wanted to say, well, obviously it means I'm the next Larry Bird, and I can only be compared to him going forward. And I would appreciate if you would tell your friends. That's how I expect to be treated.
You should be say, Lookout Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
Book your tickets for Springfield in 10 years.
But it is
Ugo dropping the H.
It is pretty remarkable. Not maybe to the extent that Grandy is talking about, but a bunch of guys who were among the not ready for prime time. Continue to play well. Gonzalez is
the 28th overall pick in the draft. Baylor Shireman, who's getting a lot of time, the last pick in the first round of the draft. Hauser undrafted, I think 4 or 5 years ago.
You know what an advantage I think the Celtics have is that they're trying.
Coaching.
Well, yeah, and that goes along is partially with coaching, is that they were trying.
Yes.
I don't think I'm going to question Milwaukee's effort level. I'm not throwing away the win. I'm just saying at this point in the season, what do you think the effort in Milwaukee is?
Now, if you're going to give credit, as you are right now, Fred, to the coaching, would you say that all things go into making that coach, maybe even things that you don't completely understand, maybe hikes through the jungle, maybe engaging in jiu-jitsu training and studying chess champions and being friends with those chess champions and push hand, all these things.
Yeah, I mean, it's all part of what makes him so magical.
Right.
And interesting, and someone you'd want to be friends with.
Exactly.
Yes, it makes him a walking podcast.
Well, see, you ruined it at the end.
Yeah, see, he studies chess.
Mm-hmm. He's always 4 moves ahead of everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's all working.
Mm-hmm.
So next up, the Hornets. Tomorrow night, John?
Tomorrow night.
Oh, I heard a guy from The Athletic filleting the Hornets. Oh, boy, did he love the Hornets. Oh, the Pistons better not play the Hornets in the first round. Oh, the Hornets.
The 500 Hornets?
Yes, he says that
they've been really good recently.
That LaMelo Ball and Knipple and the other kid, they all look at them now. They've learned how to play all 3 of them at the same time, and they're this juggernaut. And look out,
Knipple is apparently now the odds-on favorite to win Rookie of the Year.
Well, I guess he's having the most efficient rookie season of anyone ever.
Yeah.
And how do you define efficiency? I am not overly sure. That's above my pay grade. But apparently he's incredibly efficient.
Why has Charlotte been so good lately?
They've won 14 of their last 17 games.
Because I'll tell you
Yeah,
why.
but they're coming off win against listen to this juggernaut beating the Wizards, the Bulls, the Pacers. Like, so what? These teams all stink.
Because according to this guy, now look, I've seen Charlotte play once, and it was the huge Donnybrook against the Pistons where they stopped the game for 35 years to go over the footage, thereby ruining any spark that had started. This guy said Miller, Ball, and Knuppel are all playing as a intense unit. I mean, Knuppel is hitting 44% from three.
He set the rookie record for made threes in a season already.
I mean, that's fairly impressive.
And they actually, I'm looking back, they beat San Antonio.
They beat San Antonio. That's like their big win in that run. But there isn't one other good team. The other good teams they played, they lost to.
And apparently, Knuppel and the other kid were all. They didn't want to be on the Ball, and Miller didn't want to be on the team anymore because they drafted Knuppel. And then now they've all learned to play as a unit. I'm just telling you what I've heard from one person from The Athletic.
So they'll be here tomorrow night.
So you best go. And you can see the triumvirate of Miller, Ball, and Knuppel. And they'll be trying, I can tell you that. And then apparently look out Pistons, because if they somehow get the 6th seed and the Pistons have to play them, apparently that's bad news for the Pistons.
Scrappy. Those Charlotte Hornets. Scrappy.
I think it's more of a long-range firing squad.
That's true. LaMelo Ball is firing half-court shots in high school. He hasn't really changed
Apparently,
all that much.
well, no, apparently he has, John. That's where you're wrong. Apparently he's matured his game a little bit, according to this one man that I heard speak briefly.
Yeah, look out, Pistons. The Charlotte's played them twice and lost to them both times. Look out, Detroit.
Yeah, and they had that huge fight. They got Isaiah Stewart out of the equation. All right, because he ran off the bench. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub.
I know. No, you don't know.
Everyone agrees that I'm the only one who's not wrong.
Right or wrong, they're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
No, you don't know.
Channel 5 News, Southern.
Yeah. We are Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what else is going on?
All right, so we got a couple of deadlines coming up. We got the NFL franchise tag deadline later this afternoon. Some moves being made yesterday as a team that was just here in the playoffs has a new running back. The Detroit Lions sending David Montgomery to the Houston Texans in exchange for an offensive lineman and 2 draft picks. So Juice Scruggs will head back to Detroit. Lions also getting a 4th-round draft pick in 2026 and a 7th-rounder in 2027.
Not bad.
Yeah.
For a guy not bad for a guy they weren't going to use. It's pretty good.
It's an awful lot. I'm very curious why the Texans did that. I'm not positive Dave Montgomery's an every down back. And I mean, I wouldn't use him as my 3rd down back, and he's not young. I don't really understand why they did that at all.
And now he's going to a place where he still won't be an every down back. He's still going to be a timeshare guy.
He wanted out of Detroit, and I guess because Gibbs was getting more and more of the carries, and Gibbs is a major star now, and he probably didn't want to be behind that. I mean, I understand why he wanted to go. I understand also why the Texans wanted him. I don't understand why they had to give up so much to get him. Like, they gave up a fairly useful offensive lineman, and then they gave up a 4th and a 7th. That seems an awful lot for a undervalued or a position that's not overly valued, a non-premier position, and a guy that's certainly not a superstar. I mean, I'd rather have Kenneth Walker or Breece Hall over him. I mean, that's a lot to give up. Wouldn't you just rather? I don't know if you'll be able to get. I mean, you're not going to be able to get Breece Hall. He's going to sign or they're going to tag him, but I don't think they're going to tag Kenneth Walker. I'd much rather have Kenneth Walker. I wouldn't have to give anything up for him. I don't know. It was weird.
Montgomery, I think, is going to be 29 this summer. I mean, that's basically the expiration date for running backs. But why would you? That is a significant amount. Offensive lineman and 2 picks.
John, I learned it from you. I'm sorry. I'll give you 1 second. John, I learned it from you. I saw it in the Slack. And I had the same sentiment that you did. I was like, this is an awful lot to give up for David Montgomery.
Right, a guy who's going to be 29 years old, but it's not like the typical 29-year-old good running back workload. His workload has decreased, as you said, because Jahmyr Gibbs is getting the touches, but he went from getting like over 14 touches a game 3 seasons ago. Then it dropped down to like 9 and 10 over the last 2 years. So, if anything, he's got a little more health to him than the average 29-year-old running back. He still can produce, and he's going to be their number 1 guy. He's going to slot in right away as being their featured back.
I'm not sure about
I'm not
that.
sure either.
Woody, is it Marks? I always forget this guy's name. But I mean, Houston
he was banged up in the playoffs.
Houston has a back. They have a back that was their featured back last year. Montgomery isn't that much better than this kid. I mean, Houston, I think, got this guy for insurance. I don't think they got this guy to go get 20 carries a game.
I bet he does. I bet he is the plan going forward. Otherwise, how else could you really justify giving up all that to get him? They plan on using him in that role.
I mean, he doesn't catch the ball a lot out of the backfield. He can. It doesn't. He's not a game breaker. He's more of a between the tackles. I mean,
more of a battering ram, yeah.
And by the way, Detroit stopped using him even in goal line situations last year. If you'll recall.
Yes, I do actually.
And so, whatever. I mean, maybe Houston will use him all the time. I can't say. He just seems like a very ordinary back.
Yeah, Woody Marks is the guy's name. He literally came out of nowhere to take over the top running back job. I think originally they wanted Joe Mixon to take that, but Mixon got hurt. So Marks wasn't bad last year. I think they got Montgomery to keep this kid fresh more than anything else.
Yeah, and that's a lot. If they did, that's a lot to give up. That's a lot to give up. It's again, I don't think Montgomery's much above average back.
Well, maybe it's a combination of that and having another option other than C.J. Stroud throwing the ball.
All right.
Because
Now, I like that argument a lot better.
Yeah, maybe they'll run the wishbone. Yeah. David Montgomery's run for 1,000 yards twice in his 7-year career. And, his carries have gone down significantly. He carried the ball a lot in Chicago, but the last 2 years he hasn't carried the ball a ton.
Also, the other deadline is the NHL trade deadline. Just very briefly, Don Sweeney speaking yesterday had this to say.
You got to turn your you got some audio coming out of there. I can't pot you up until you turn the audio off.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Okay, you're good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we got something coming out of there, like YouTube, I think.
Oh, I know what I was watching.
I got it here.
He was watching Louis Anderson comedy.
Go ahead.
All right, you got me. 12. Let's play this.
In all likelihood, be a little different than last year. Not necessarily as aggressive and active, but we would like to continue to improve our hockey club if possible, and exploring opportunities to do so with the intention of obviously giving our team that has done a pretty good job so far.
And let's add this here.
We'd like to give them a bump because they've earned that, but it's an eye towards obviously this year, but moving forward as well. So that's what our intentions are as we go to the deadline.
So they're adding. They're adding because this team is far better than management thought they were going to be.
They said they've got some room. They've got options. They've got flexibility. If they end up doing nothing or doing something really, really lackluster, remember this. He said they've got the ability to do stuff and they want to do stuff.
Yes.
So I would expect them to do some stuff, and if they don't, he'll have to. He's got more explaining to do than normal because he says, "Hey, we could do it, and we want to do it."
Yeah. Let's hope it's different than the GM of the Red Sox, who talks a big game and then doesn't do much and panics when the clock strikes 12.
I mean, you want him doing a lot? I wouldn't.
But this is the thing. He doesn't want to necessarily move on from anybody. Patra is one of the players that got mentioned.
Yes. Patra all of a sudden very expendable considering the fact that Higgins is coming in. So I wouldn't mind that.
And I guess Ottawa or Calgary is interested in Patois. But the thing is, Patois, like that's right, as 311 said. But he made a good point though. More than anything, he's like, we have like 1 million games in a very short amount of time. Yep. We need bodies. I can't really be given because they asked him about peak and this stuff, and he's like,
Arvidsson, who's on an expiring contract,
and he's like, we need people to play. Like, I really can't be giving up people to for picks because we actually need physical NHLers to play.
Right.
Because if we don't, it's going to be a very rough road. But it would be funny if they traded like McAvoy or something. Hopefully, they could trade Swayman. I'm not kidding. I'd get rid of Swayman. If you can find, I'm not kidding.
Okay,
you wouldn't. You laugh, but you wouldn't.
I'd think more about it now than I did last year.
Oh, you would have done it last year for sure. You would have done it
then
last year.
2 years ago. Whenever Swayman was on fire, when he was at a timeshare with Olmark, I wouldn't have thought about it.
Yeah, that's before they gave him the contract.
And now they gave him the contract. He's coming off a bad year. He's been up and down this year.
He's weird.
Yeah, I would think about,
he's a weirdo.
Yes.
All right. We'll be back. One of our own had a child, and a name has been selected. There is a big announcement. We'll be back.
You're listening to Touch. Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics now have 12 wins in their last 14 games. They swept their back-to-back last night, beating the Bucks in Milwaukee 108-81. The home team had Giannis Antetokounmpo. He had 19 points and 11 rebounds in 25 minutes in his return. But Sam Hauser's team got a career night from Ugo Gonzalez. He had 18 points and 16 rebounds for the evening.
You know what? All credit to them because, that gets him more minutes if he's doing stuff like that. And honestly, it helps us a lot in general as a team. So if he can keep doing that for us, that's awesome.
Jaylen Brown and Namitas Keita didn't play at all, but the Celtics are now 41-20. They're back home to play Charlotte tomorrow night. Bruins play tonight at home against Pittsburgh. Sidney Crosby out for the visitors. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Bruins GM Don Sweeney told the media yesterday he plans to try and add before the trade deadline on Friday. Red Sox won an exhibition game over Toronto and Dunedin, Florida 7-6. Sox are back in Fort Myers tonight to play the Puerto Rican World Baseball Classic team. And the NFL deadline to use the franchisor transition tag is 4 p.m. this afternoon. Detroit has traded running back David Montgomery to Houston. Washington yesterday released former Pro Bowl defensive back Marshawn Lattimore. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Service Credit Union. They're teaming with Charlie McAvoy for 73 reasons to provide funding and health screens for first responders. Learn more at servicecu.org/73. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Oh boy, I guess it's time for more Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Studying the tapes of the show.
Yeah, that's good.
And I get up and I say, like, what the hell is he even talking about? And then I have to ensure him that it's fine. Everything's fine, Nicholas. Don't worry. Don't sweat. Don't sweat the small stuff, Nicholas. You're quizzing me about what things I say on the show. It's not right.
I'm curious.
So Nick is gone because he had a child. Now George is in. Now Nick's on the phone, but George is in his stead. And Hardy informs me that George is having quite the conversation on YouTube. He's enjoying having a conversation with the people on YouTube.
Uh-oh.
That's how he's spending his time.
Very dangerous, George.
What are some things that he's saying, Hardy?
Oh, I can pull him up here, but he was letting it be known he was going to be at that cafeteria first thing when they opened at 7 a.m.
Oh.
What? Is that not something he should be doing?
Well, I don't know why he is doing it, is the only thing. Like, it's a little mystifying.
Oh, George, where'd you go? Okay, well, he must have signed off for a while because I don't see anything.
Well, he had to go take a dump, apparently, according to Ryan. So that maybe that's why he signed off.
Everything okay in there?
He went to go take a dump. George's been very busy this morning. He's been talking to the people on YouTube and
I'm a
taking
man of
dumps.
the. Okay, he just typed this. I'm a man of the people. Slippery slope.
Huh?
I pulled a Gemelli.
Huh?
These are things he's typing right now as we're speaking.
So he's doing it now.
Yeah.
So he's combated the accusations of being on the YouTube chat by going on the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, until you give him a microphone that just remains open for the entirety of the show.
Well, we tried that with the flute, and he didn't do it. Now, Nick, do you talk to the people on the chat while you were back there?
Not really. I usually don't have the time to do it.
Oh, Nicholas! Wow, good job.
I didn't mean that to be a shot or anything.
No,
like that,
but you're saying
you know.
no. You were speaking the truth. You say you're very busy back there.
Yes.
No, Nick, I don't know how many times I have to tell this to you before we start congratulating you that you have developed, that I'm very proud of you, that you've developed skills that make you, that the company needs you.
Indispensable.
Thank you. Indispensable skills. Like you've learned how to do all the video stuff that the company is very interested in. So your role has evolved. With the
Right.
thing that the company fights, and if you listened, I had to have at least made this partially clear, is having 3 people in the back room. Now, they haven't done it in a long time. In fact, no one's talked to me about anything in a long time. People are probably, I would imagine they're fairly satisfied on how the show is doing, but it's the 3 people in the back, and you know that. Why did you text me? You know what the situation is.
I wasn't getting scared or anything like that. I was just asking out of curiosity. That's all. There was nothing behind it. I was not fearful of my job or anything like that. So I was just texting you out of the blue, just out of curiosity.
Well, you never text me, ask me how I'm doing.
The psychology at play here is Nick is away from work for weeks at a time on his paternity leave, which we all, that no one thinks less of you for it, Nick. But you're having, you're having some insecurity about that. You're away from the office. You hear about your job at one point being in jeopardy. You're not here in the moment. I get it. I understand.
Well, when I was in detox, I had access to an iPad, and I would be up in the morning and I would watch the show, and that gave me great confidence because of what the people were saying.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
No, it was a great idea.
Great time.
I never felt better about myself. People missed me greatly, at least back then. Now they wouldn't. Now they would all crap on me. But at least back then, I had the people on my side. But listen, Nick. Yeah, so it's been 1 day since your paternity leave started. Don't start freaking out. That's the thing, is you're freaking out, and I don't need that out of you. I can't have to keep reassuring you. That's the thing.
I'll tone it down.
All right, because I assure you all the time. I've never given you non-assurance. It is true. So all right, look. First of all, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, Nick. Everyone's still doing well.
Everybody's still doing well. Yes, thank you. Everybody is still doing well. We're hoping to be out of the hospital by this afternoon.
Are you sleeping on a cot in the hospital?
Only for one night. I'm actually back home right now because I have Noah. So I didn't have to.
Was Noah pissed?
Endure that whole thing.
Was Noah pissed? No, because my son was not happy when my daughter was born at all. Was Noah pissed?
Yeah.
My son was pissed.
We warmed up to it. It took a little bit, but at first, no.
I actually felt
happy.
bad because my son was so pissed off. Because he was like 1.5, and he was so pissed off. 2 years old, he was like so. He was trying to pretend at first that he was happy, but he was absolutely not happy.
Yeah.
And then he would not sleep in his room. He demanded to sleep on. He wanted to sleep in bed with us, and then we would have him sleep on the floor and gradually take things away, trying to woo him into his bedroom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like he started off with this whole basically bed on the floor, and then one by one we would take things away until he would make his way back into his room.
Nick,
leading up to Miles being born, he was really excited, all that stuff, and then we were filming him walking into the room, the hospital room. We thought he was going to be like super excited, oh my god, and stuff. Oh no. It was depressing. It was sad.
Yeah, because they see their mom. Sad. I would imagine they see their mom with another child, and they're like, "Wait a second,
yeah,
that's my spot. What's going on?" And that's what I never had to deal with, and that's why I grew up so well adjusted as an only child.
Nick, when was the baby born? What day?
Saturday morning, 9:07.
How are you guys still in the hospital? How is your wife and baby still there? It's Tuesday, and normally I'm surprised they didn't kick you out by Sunday afternoon.
I know. She had a C-section, and it was a not so happy situation. So they wanted to keep her in for a few more days, or a couple of more days, just to evaluate her.
Okay, well, very good. But everything went well, and everything is fine.
Yeah, everything is well. Everything is fine now.
Right.
Everybody's happy.
There was some scary moments, as often happens during the birthing, and then they rectified everything, and the doctors got to work, and now everyone's okay.
Everybody's okay. Yes,
right.
Exactly.
Okay, so you did not have a name when you when the baby was born. Now, why was that?
So we were stuck between two names, and we had one definitely on. We actually didn't choose the one that we had leading up to him being born.
What?
But
explain.
Wait, that's confusing.
Yeah, Nicholas.
Hey, hold on. Sorry. So we had a name in mind leading up to.
What was the name?
Miles being born. It was Charlie. It was but it was
It got too
Miles was the other
controversial.
one.
You thought that he would be picked on because of having such an odd name.
Charlie Gemelli. Yeah.
Yeah. See, yeah, it didn't roll off the tongue quite as well. So, it took a couple of days. We had like written on the board and everything like that. But then we
He
finally
had it
decided.
written down. I speak Nick. They had it written down on the board.
What board?
See, how does Hardy know how I?
But you
talk?
said you had it written down on the board. What's the board?
There's when you're in a hospital.
In a
you're
hospital.
in the room, and then there's a chart. There's a board that has lists off like the nurse's name and
Like the
all
whiteboard.
The thing that
Yeah, the
the thing that they keep
So-
important medical records on that you're not supposed to doodle on.
So you wrote the name on the board. You wrote names on the board.
Yes.
Oh, it's as simple as that. Okay, I should have been able to envision that. You wrote names on the
So-
board.
okay,
How
so-
many names were on the board?
There were 3. And then it got down to 2, and then finally we chose Miles.
What were the first two? It was Charlie and what else?
Owen.
Oh.
Okay, and then so
a lot of Owens around these days.
did you have any family members suggesting names?
Not so much. No.
Have any family been to the hospital?
My dad has not been at the hospital yet. We're going to bring him. We're going to bring him.
Oh, boy.
Nicholas.
It's not easy for him. He's not driving around.
I know he doesn't drive around, but I mean, you could. I mean, come on.
Also not speaking to you.
I spoke to him. I told him this.
I didn't even know she was knocked up.
Why aren't you naming him Luigi? Keep the con going that we're Italian. Nicholas! I want to be Italian. Jamelenstein is
forgive
our
him
real
for that.
name. We had to change it at Ellis Island.
So you had Charlie, you had Owen, and where did Miles come from?
Because of Milo. Because of my son's name. That's what it.
It was. You know what? At one point, she did suggest it. I was like, no.
She suggested Milo.
Yes.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Wow.
If he would have named his kid the same name as my kid. Oh, that would have been fantastic. Oh, I would have enjoyed that very much.
I would. I told her that probably wouldn't be a good idea.
Why not? That would have been such an honor. Why did you ever consider Fred while she was on at it? Did she mention my name when she suggested Milo?
No, she didn't know your son was named Milo.
Yeah.
We were trying to avoid our friends and using their kid's name.
Well, that would have had to have been very difficult. So you picked my kid's name because you were trying to avoid Fred.
That's interesting because my wife says she doesn't listen to the show, but I know she listens enough. Your wife really doesn't listen to the show. If she doesn't know Milo is Fred's kid's name.
She does not listen to the show, and she just happened to be listening. Got into the car a couple of weeks when she was on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It had 98.5 on, and we were talking about the health records, and then she called in.
That's right. Well,
That'd be the only time she listens
I
to the
don't
show.
believe that for 1 second. You realize that there's no way that's what happened. If I had $1 for every time someone said 90, or I read 98.5 The Sports have just happened to be on. I mean, we all get introduced when we get introduced to people. They go, "I don't really listen to the show, but the show had to be on. It happened to be on. It just happened to be on at the very time we were talking about her."
Yeah.
Guys, I swear to God, all she listens to is the country stations and Taylor Swift. That's all she listens to.
All right. Well, she listened to it enough to know we were talking about you.
Talking about her, and she called in.
Yeah.
She was driving Noah to daycare.
And
she was in the car.
Happened to be on.
She was
at that moment that we were talking about you and her.
And was she rendered paralyzed? She couldn't switch the station fast enough?
I don't know. She heard Nick, so she stuck around.
All right. Well, Nick, I don't believe for 1 second that your wife isn't. I believe she might not have known my son's name was Milo consciously, but she's at least heard it.
She would. I wish she would. It kind of hurts my feelings.
Believe me, she listens to the show way more than she's letting on. Believe me, you're here. At least to keep tabs on you. Believe me, if you broke up and then you start dating another girl or you go on dates with another girl, all they do is listen to the show. Believe me. And so I got to tell you that it would be, put yourself in her shoes. If she was on the radio every morning and there was a chance someone was
listening all the time.
And if there was a chance they were talking about her life and you are not in any kind of medium where you can get that kind of audience, you would be enthralled to hear if they were talking about you. Now, I believe my ex-wife doesn't listen to the show because she doesn't want to hear my voice anymore. That I believe. And I believe my kids really don't listen to the show because they've grown up with this and they don't care. But like my mom listens. I know I have a bunch of friends that listen because I would too. If you were friends with a guy and you weren't on the radio or you were on TV or something, or you didn't have a sweet podcast, and you had a friend that you were like actually close to that was on the radio every morning, what you would have to be a mental patient not to check in every now and again, at least a couple times a week to hear what your friend was saying. Oh, please.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
Now, Hardy, you've been with your wife long enough where maybe, but I bet you for sure when you first started on the morning show, she was listening.
Yeah.
And by the way, if no wives listen, why do they all hate me? It's because I never see them in my personal life.
Because your coworkers go home and tell stories about you.
Yeah, but then they have to develop their own hatred. So I would at least, fine, if you're going home and hearing stories about how someone terrible is all the time, then you would for sure listen. Every guy in a second, third chairs, wives have hated me.
Yeah.
And John's wife hates me.
She listens a lot.
Yeah, and she hates me. And I know why she hates me. Why do you let him talk to you like that? Why do you let him make fun of him? Because they're like, you're my man. Why are you letting someone tease you like that? And like, you tell him to F off, ... That's what it is.
That's exactly right.
Right. Well, because I've been doing this for 30 years. I understand how it goes. Fat kid's wife hated me. They all hate me.
Well, Brittany does watch the videos, like the clips that.
Does she follow me on the gram?
I think she does, yeah.
Yeah, well, then I have pictures of my children from time to time on the gram.
Oh, you walked right into the trap there, Nicholas.
Boom, Nicholas.
Walked right
Game,
into
set,
it.
match, Fred.
Woo!
She wanted to name your son Milo out of a tribute to me.
I'm really curious.
Yeah, now you're curious. Now you see where I'm coming from. It didn't just the name Milo, Zoe. I'll grant you. Every kid's named Zoe. There's 4 girls named Zoe on my daughter's basketball team. No one is named Milo. She did not come up with that name out of thin air. You two must agree. Milo didn't just come out of thin air.
This is very odd. It's very odd.
It's not odd.
No,
it's not odd. It just is. It had to have come from somewhere, and it's not the Descendants. Which is why I named my son Milo, the singer of the Descendants. Right. I always thought it was a good name. It had to have come from somewhere. Who else is Milo?
The denial is odd. That's what I'm saying. The denial.
Well, she didn't even deny it was because of me, did she? It just never came up.
It just never came up. Right.
Exactly.
She suggested Milo, and I was like, that's probably like. I said no.
You know what the thing is, Nick, is that she looks up to me, and that's the thing. She says maybe, like people will name their children after royalty in the UK. It's sort of like that. I take it as a great compliment.
But it's not Milo.
It could be a possibility. Absolutely.
It's Miles Nicholas Gemelli.
Yes.
So the second kid will bear your name, but not the first kid. More reason for the first kid to hate the second kid.
Don't say that.
No, but how will you explain that? That is actually a good question, and not in a mean way. It's obviously explainable, but like, how will you explain that in the future?
I haven't even gone to that. I haven't thought about
Nicholas.
that.
But Nicholas, this is a long game. You're going to have these kids in your lives for your whole entire life.
My friend Rob, his younger brother, is named after their father, Richard. So the first kid is Robert, and then for the second son, they're like, oh, no, this is the one. This is the one we name after me.
Yeah,
and the second son got the father's first name.
Well, that's really weird.
That's tell me about
Donnie Trump Jr. ain't the second one. Let's put it. That's Eric. Let's put it that way. All right. Well, Nick, we're all very happy for you.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations, Nicholas.
Yeah, and give your best to your wife, and I'm glad everything is okay. I know the C-sections are very taxing on the woman, and I'm glad she's feeling well. It was nice of you to stick around the hospital with her. And I would encourage you. I do like that you're listening to the show. Hardy tells me that you're helping out in Slack in a channel that I don't look at because I'm to improvise off of these matters. But I am glad that you are participating. You were missed. You were certainly missed when George is here. So I will tell you that. All right. Well, thank you, Nicholas.
Thanks, guys.
Well,
See you in a
obviously,
couple of weeks.
well, a few weeks, but but that's fine. But none of us, honestly, are. You take as much time as you need, and I mean that in a nice way. Seriously.
Okay.
Enjoy. No, see, now you're doing it.
No, I'm not. Listen, and I know you guys made valid points about that whole thing yesterday.
My only thing was the
leaving.
60% salary, that if I was your father, and I do look at you, and as you can imagine, a little bit like a younger brother or a son, it's just natural, because you've been in my life for so long and you're younger than me, is that I would have advised you, I wouldn't have told you what to do. I would have talked to you about the 60% salary. It's nothing to do with me as Fred Toucher in this show. It's just completely from a financial standpoint with you. That's the only question that
Financially, it makes sense, but
okay. Well, there you go.
My wife's job, she has 12 weeks full pay.
Right.
And she gets paid much more than I do. So it's a temporary, it is a hit, but it's a small hit, and it's not going to, really.
Okay. Well, that was just the conversation that I would have had with you if I was in that kind of position. That's all. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with me, Fred Toucher. It has everything to do with Nicholas Gemelli. For once. I can understand why you think it wouldn't, based on my track record. All right. Well, Nicholas, thank you. Give your best to everyone. Your son will adjust. My son still doesn't like my daughter very much, but we'll see where that goes. All right. Thank you, Nicholas. There you go. There's Nicholas. He's gone. All right. Adam hung up on him. We'll be back in just a moment with Jim McBride.
Toucher and Hardy, those.
I'd like to give them a bump because they've earned that, but it's an eye towards, obviously this year, but moving forward as well. So that's what our intentions are as we go to the deadline.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Jim McBride writes about the Bruins at the Boston Globe. Jim McBride, hello, sir. Nice to talk to you.
Good morning, Fred.
It's how has everything been going? How'd you enjoy the Olympic break?
It was nice. The trade deadline was nice. It was. The Olympic break was nice. Watching hockey and not worrying about deadlines. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
All right. Did you like the 3-on-3 at the end? How did you feel about that whole thing?
I hate 3-on-3 to decide something like that. I love it during the regular season because you don't want games going on forever, but you shouldn't be taking that many people off the ice to decide a gold medal or a Stanley Cup playoff game or anything like that. So down with the 3-on-3. Although if I'm Canada and I'm seeing the three best players in the world on the ice, I'm feeling pretty good. So I think the U.S. did a great job there.
All right. Jim McBride, Don Sweeney talked. He said that he was going to add. How do you think this whole thing shakes out? The most interesting thing he said that I thought that he said was when he was talking about how many games they have in such a short amount of time and they just couldn't afford to trade away bodies, basically. What did you make of all of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point, but I do think if the right deal comes around, he'll deal one of those bodies, particularly Andrew Peeke, a right shot defenseman who, is a solid player, good shot blocker, and is on an expiring contract. I don't think Victor Arvidsson would get moved because I think he's really contributing a lot offensively, and Marco Sturm really likes him and advocated for him for the Bruins to trade for him last July. So I'd be really surprised if they moved him. But he makes a great point. Like 16 games in 25 days or whatever it is, that's a lot. You're going to need bodies. And I'm not sure at this point when you're in a playoff race if you want to keep calling guys up from Providence. I know he mentioned a couple of the defensemen that have played this year, sparingly from Providence. But you want to rely on guys who've got NHL experience. And, Andrew Peeke, it's a unique case because he's been a healthy scratch the last two games. So that leads to a lot of speculation. But he's definitely one of the six best defensemen on this roster. So if they don't find a deal for him, they'll be perfectly happy with slotting him back in that lineup and depending on him.
Is there a big move to be made, however?
Yeah, I think he said exactly what the fan base wants to hear, right? Like he's willing to make a move if a move is there, but he's not going to cash in all those draft picks, right? Because the only people that like draft picks more than GMs are fans. And when you start talking about losing these draft picks that you acquired after last year's sell-off, then the fan base gets kind of nutty, right? But there's some guys out there that you might want to give up a first rounder or a prospect for, but I wouldn't be cashing all my chips in from that haul last year unless you're talking about a guy like Brady Tkachuk. And I love the fact that Bruins fans constantly ask me about Brady Tkachuk, even though the denials have been there from both him and the Senators organization. But he would be the big fish, right? And no one's talking about him. But I think this would be the time to strike, right? Like half of Canada hates him now. So, get him to Boston.
How realistic do you think that is, though, Jim?
It's not. It's not realistic at all. Because he's one of the best players in the world, right? Like, if the Senators came to the Bruins and said, we'll take all four of your first rounders the next 2 years and Matthew Poitras, then I still think you jump on that deal, right? You get Brady Tkachuk here, you slap the C on his chest as soon as he walks through the door.
Right.
And you've got a foundational player for the next, 5 to 7 years. So,
okay, but just in the overall scheme of things, the way Sweeney was talking about yesterday, saying how they have the room, they have the flexibility, they have picks. And he said he wants to add to it, as in the team deserves it, and this is something that needs to be done. So, I guess how surprising would it be if they didn't make, I would say, not just like a standard move, so picking up someone else that's going to be a third pairing defenseman or someone else that might slot in on the third or fourth line. How surprised would you be, or should we be, if they don't make a move bigger than that?
I'd be pretty surprised because, saying that you want to give your team a bump and then not giving it to them would be a real surprise. Now, what struck me is the amount of times he mentioned Morgan Geeky's comments from last week, where Morgan said, they've put themselves in a position to add bodies if management can do it. And obviously Sweeney heard those sentiments. He mentioned it a couple of times. He's like, Morgan has a right to say things like that, and we have put the team in a position to make the playoffs and maybe make a run. So he's listening to that locker room. So I'd be surprised if he doesn't make some kind of move. I don't think anything's coming as seismic as last year, but yeah, he'll make a move because Don Sweeney likes to make moves, and sometimes that's just what you need. And you don't want to blow up the thing. I think 3 years ago when they had the best record in the league and they added all those bodies, it fizzled out in the playoffs, right? So I don't think you want to mess too much with the team chemistry because that locker room seems very tight to me. They've got each other's backs. So I'd be surprised if it's a seismic move, but yeah, he'll make some kind of move, whether it's like you said, a third pairing defenseman or maybe some secondary scoring on the wing. But somebody's going to land in Boston or I'll be stunned.
Part of making deals at the deadline is with an eye towards the future, and Don Sweeney said as much yesterday. We keep reading and seeing James Hagens and Dean Letourneau, and apparently there's this guy in North Dakota, Will Zellers, that they got. I mean, are any of these guys going to be a help to the team at the end of this season or next year?
That was the exact question I asked Don yesterday about that. And, he said, I'm sure the conversations have been internal, about what they're going to do with these guys. And, I would be surprised if Hagens doesn't turn pro at the end of the BC season. I don't know about Letourneau. He went from a guy that was kind of invisible last year to a guy that's a Hobie Baker candidate. And he's got great size and good vision. So, but does he need another year in college? Probably, right? We found out at prospect camp last year that he played pretty much his entire freshman year with a broken wrist, and that kind of led to why his numbers were so low. Zellers is probably another guy that needs. They got him in the Charlie Coyle trade. He probably needs another year in college to put on some muscle. So I think the only one of those three, or any of their college prospects that they could anticipate being an impact player on this roster for the stretch run would be Hagens. And I think they have an eye towards that because Hagens has played a lot of wing this year, even though he was drafted as a center. So he's a two-position guy. And as Don pointed out yesterday, coming into the NHL as a winger is an easier ask probably than plopping a guy in and saying he plays center at the National Hockey League level.
So you think Hagens could play for the Bruins this season?
Yeah, I think they'll give him a look for sure. Now, if they go on some kind of run here where they're far and ahead, a playoff spot is secured, maybe a week left, then you give them a look. If they're still fighting tooth and nail every single game, which it looks like that's probably going to be the case, then maybe he doesn't get a look, but at least he gets a look down in Providence, and he starts his real pro career in the fall or the summer.
That'd be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
If they brought Hagens up this year. Yeah. That'd be something. I can't recall. Can you recall the last time that happened?
Didn't McAvoy do that at the end of the
Yeah, McAvoy jumped right in from college, basically into a playoff race and into the playoffs, and had an impact. He was, other than Chara, he was probably their best defenseman that year. So it happens. It doesn't happen a lot, especially to the Bruins, but it can happen.
Oh, well, I mean, that would certainly be interesting. That would certainly add some flavor as this playoff run takes place. Do you like their chances of getting into the playoffs?
Yeah, I love the way they play 5-on-5, and if they can stay out of the penalty box, which has been their bugaboo all year, and they've done that the last two games. I think they've done a really good job. They've exceeded expectations by anyone's imagination. I don't think after that overhaul last year and the free agent class, I don't think anyone thought that this team would be, in contention for a playoff spot this quickly. So I like their chances. I think they're a hard team to play against, which was the stated goal by Sweeney and Neely. They've got some. You get the Bruins in a 7-game series with the size and the muscle they get. I think they can hang with anyone. So yeah, I like their chances to to hang on at least to the second wild card spot, or maybe move up a little, and give teams give teams fits, and that's what you want.
All right. Well, that would be very good. It would be much needed around here. Jim McBride, read about all of this in the Boston Globe. Jim, thank you so much for the time, sir.
You bet, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. You know, I was doing some scouting myself at the BCBU game on Saturday.
Right.
Yeah, you were.
Yes.
I knew everything going on.
Right.
Yeah.
I could find it all out.
There's that one tall guy and that other tall guy.
Well, there was Hagens, who I knew 10.
Yes.
He I could keep my eye on.
Letourneau is real easy to spot.
Yeah, he's tall.
Yes.
So I could see him. The other guy, I had trouble finding.
Is he too tall though?
He didn't look fast to me, I can tell you that, but I don't know anything. I never played hockey. I enjoy the sport, but I would be completely fraudulent if I told you.
The other part
I
of the
knew what
problem
going
was,
on.
BC struggled that game. Not a lot of offense from Boston College in the game that you saw.
No, they did not. It didn't seem that they played very well. I didn't stay for the whole thing, but I stayed for the vast majority of it. I left with about 8 minutes left in the game. You know, I couldn't take the loss. It was weighing heavily on me.
Well, you're not there watching as a fan. You're not there rooting. You're there on a serious scouting mission.
Yeah, people were like, "Why do you have a fedora on with press and a notepad?" And I was like, "Shush, shush." And they're like, "Why aren't you in the press box?" And I said, "I like being among the people."
Right.
You know, I like being around you 9-to-5ers, nickel and dimers.
I can't see what I need to see from up there.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it in my loins. I like to know when there's
I need
juice.
to be able to hear the edges of the skate.
Yeah.
I can tell more. I can tell more by listening than watching.
Like I feel that juice.
Right.
All right. Very good. We will be back in just a moment. Listen to John. Everyone take a deep breath and listen to John do the headlines. He'll tell you the scores. Don't you worry. Here he goes.
Essential Sports Hub headline.
YYKYK, which obviously YD. Okay?
Dutcher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
He's having a baby. George is now answering the phones, and he's talking to.
Well, he's not answering the phones right now. He went down to the cafeteria.
Yeah, he's getting breakfast right now.
Oh, yeah, he's really put on a show today. He's talking on the YouTube chat for no reason. It's quite annoying.
Did he ask Ryan to take over while he was gone?
It's just like such a JV operation. He's talking to him on his.
He has to eat. Why is that junior varsity?
Not even going to get food. It's just the talking on the YouTube. No one else finds that aggravating, huh?
I think he's engaging. I
could do without that.
I think he's a man of the people. I think he's a people's champion. And he shouts out Sarge. He's coming back right now.
I don't mind that he went and got food.
Yeah.
I just that everyone does that. It's my thing is the chatting on the YouTube. I find is odd. But when he managed to answer the phone, Josh from Lowell called in. Lowell, I will be tomorrow. Josh.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Why will you be in Lowell, if I may ask?
I got a whole operation with my son. What's going on, Josh? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm not George. I'm Josh. I'm not the people's champ. I can't claim to fame.
Oh, yeah, that's certainly true.
Freddie T, I got to tell you, I'm a big fan. I've told you that back in the BCN days, all that stuff. Hardy, you as well. And Johnny Wall game, I've been kind of tough on you when I've called before. So
yeah, remember?
I do appreciate your knowledge, but no, I know you guys won't remember me from a hole in the wall.
I remember.
But either way, that one time, maybe. Yeah. Either way, what's up, Freddie T? I know you're hard on young Nicholas, and I know, he was covered in his own feces, and, oh, goodness gracious. But you're kind of making it all about you when it's a joyous occasion. There's another, Nicholas Gemelli offspring coming into the world, and you're making it all about you. What's going on, man?
Well, that's what Fred does.
Yeah.
I mean,
you just tune in and listen to the show. I mean, this is what we do.
I've been listening since the BCN days, so I know you're.
Well, something was uncovered. In fairness,
very self-fulfilling in your own prophecy.
I do self-fulfill. I'm masturbatory. But what I'll tell you is this: is that
self-gratifying.
Yeah. During our talk with Nick, I mean, something came out that was interesting, and it did involve me. Is that he said?
Yeah, I understand.
He said that the kid's name was Miles. I said that's very close to Milo. They said that we were thinking about naming him Milo, which is the name of my son, and that would let us down a road.
I want to touch base on that because you were actually before, like I said, BCN days. I always loved the name Milo, but it's always associated with other things. But when you had said that you named your kid Milo after the lead singer of the Descendants, I had a son at the time, but I named him Silas. Different, not crazy, but a little different. But I always said if I had another son, I would want to name him Milo, and that was actually in tribute to you because I really like the name Milo, and that's about it. So I guess I'm really fulfilling your
yeah, I don't really quite where you're going with that, Josh, but thank you. I don't know where you were going with that at all. If Nick would have named his son Milo, which is the name of my son, that would have been very funny. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that was quite a revelation. And then he claimed that his wife was unaware that my son's name was Milo, which I will accept consciously, but certainly at least subconsciously, having followed me on Instagram, and her husband during the entire course of their relationship, let alone marriage, has worked on this show. I find it very difficult to believe that's never entered her mind, she's never, at least in the background, heard that.
It's happened to me twice at this radio station. Our daughter, Catherine, not long afterward, someone, maybe even a part of this show, had a child, named that child Catherine, after we had already named our daughter. Now, Catherine is a much more common name, but it happened.
Did she marry a well-intentioned man?
I don't know what their decision process was.
Everybody will.
But naming
what became of you.
naming one of their children Catherine after I had just named our daughter Catherine.
Interesting.
Seemed inappropriate.
I blame the song Kath,
Okay, so that's number one.
which is where I've been going the whole time with this singing.
Family name in honor of a dead relative.
Whatever, and then
It's a dead relative. Excuse me. Stop now. Someone once existed is now gone. The name keeps that forever. Excuse me.
right that requires a pause.
That stops everything. Pause.
But then we named our son Calvin, and Rucker named his kid Calvin.
All right. That's,
I didn't know that.
That's a bit odd.
Now that's odd.
That's
now see that's
yeah,
good.
that's a bit.
That's
odd.
good. Catherine, whatever. The in all seriousness, Catherine, like that's a bunch of people named Catherine.
Sure.
But Calvin,
Right.
that is not a common name.
No.
What is Hardy?
What's up? Like that name? Gonna use it.
You know, it's a name, few letters, jam it in there, you know.
Yeah, good luck, dude.
It's all right. I was going to name Gabe after Gabe Kapler, my good friend.
You were probably on the poser list, dude.
That's a different one.
Calvin, what do you miss most about being in your mother's womb?
He's named after the bass player from Saxon. Don't get it twisted. Remember that the horrible music I used to play in my office and play it real loud so you'd ask me about it? And then I'd have the stack of CDs on my desk and just be like,
Appreciate you having me in the partnership, too. It was awesome.
Always, yeah, dude. Always.
Yeah.
I got to maintain space because there are some heavy hitters in there.
Yeah. Heavy hitters. All of a sudden, he's that guy from Instagram. Davis Clark. Yeah. Heavy hitters. Davis Clark Rucker.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. I mean, you'd
be put off a little bit by that, wouldn't you?
I would think it was odd.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be put off. I just thought look, having Nick on to say that he had the kid isn't 15 minutes of radio. I wish people could understand that. You're trying to manufacture something, and when we got the nugget Milo was an option, that requires further insight.
If you were a better interviewer, then it could have been. But you're not. So you just fill the time talking about yourself. It's fine. We've all accepted it. I don't know how Josh and Lowell is just now coming to this realization, but there it is.
Well, Josh from Lowell at least has been listening since WBCN, so he's grown up. He knows us all so well. All right, we have to break. People are calling in. Okay, all right. Maybe we'll take some calls on the way.
I was gonna save an email about Nick for the email, but it's too good.
We got an email reading the email segment that's not going to be funny when I read it on air, but it actually made me laugh. We got an email that actually made me laugh because it had a little quick video in it. It wasn't about Nick.
Oh.
It was about the hottest people, and it was very clever. It's not going to be funny when I read it on the air because it requires the visual. But
very quickly, Fred, you made the comment toward the end of the Nick interview. The kids will be in your life for the rest of your life. Considering the estranged nature of Nick and his father, I think you have made an incorrect assumption.
I mean, these things do repeat themselves.
Hurtful, even.
They do repeat themselves. Lots of people want to weigh in on Nick. See, it turned into something. So there you go. We'll take your phone calls, and we have news if we need it coming up in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right. AccuTemp Engineering, you know about them. They do commercial HVAC units. They do residential HVAC.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics didn't have Jaylen Brown and Amias Queta for the second night of a back-to-back in Milwaukee, but it didn't matter. In a 108-81 win over the Bucks, Peyton Pritchard led 6 Celtics in double figures with 25 points. Ugo Gonzalez had an 18 to go with 16 rebounds. Celtics will be back home tomorrow night to play Charlotte. Bruins use the building for hockey tonight. They'll play Pittsburgh. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7. You're on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The NHL trade deadline is Friday. Don Sweeney said yesterday he plans on adding.
We'd like to give them a bump because they've earned that, but it's an eye towards, obviously this year, but moving forward as well. So that's what our intentions are as we go to the deadline.
Red Sox won an exhibition game 7-6 over Toronto in scenic Dunedin, Florida. Johan Oviedo continued his push for a spot in the rotation. He threw 3 shutout innings. Sox will be back in Fort Myers tonight to play the Puerto Rican World Baseball Classic team. And the NFL deadline to use the franchisor transition tag is at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Also, Detroit has traded running back David Montgomery to Houston, and Washington yesterday released Pro Bowl defensive back Marshawn Lattimore. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
This is what happens when analysts take over the games, take over the sport.
This is where you talk sports.
It happens all the time.
The Sports Hub. When it comes to the show, Hardy thinks the same way you do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back.
It's a whole situation. We had Nick on at 7 o'clock. He had a new baby boy named Miles. And it is interesting because John, you had twins.
Mm-hmm.
But like when my daughter was born, my son was like around a little before he was 2 years old, and he was not happy about that whole situation. And it was funny that Nick's son, same way. But you can understand why. Like a little kid comes in and the mother is sitting there with some new kid. You probably feel a little, and that's why, like myself, as I stated before, only children are the most well-adjusted of all human beings. It's really how everyone should be raised.
As an only child.
Yeah.
To wit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we had Nicholas on, and it's interesting because he didn't have a name for the kid, but as he told us, he wrote him on the board.
I wrote him on board in the same room?
In our room.
In our room.
In our room.
Conversation started spinning out of control really fast.
Got some ideas online.
My God, what's going on?
Yeah. He was saying that he had some names written on board, and so
in our room.
In our room.
Yeah.
And so Nick had some written on board in the room, and so he was talking about it, and he ended up naming the kid Miles. So, we're talking to Nick. It's on the radio. We're trying to entertain an audience, and I go, Miles, that's kind of close to Milo. And he said, as a matter of fact, my wife suggested the name Milo. And that was interesting because my son's name is Milo, and that would have been fantastic if he would have named his son Milo, because it would have been a never-ending grief.
Uncommon name. It's not like Sean.
Well, no, it's like Rucker naming his kid, Calvin, your kid's name. It's too coincidental.
Yeah.
To be anything but. Again, if your daughter Zoe, there was 4 girls on my daughter's basketball team this winter named Zoe. I get that. Zoe's now is like an incredibly common name. Milo is not a common name. That is something that at least subconsciously it got into you. And then, she doesn't listen to the show, and then I don't believe that at all. Because I put myself in her shoes. If I knew someone who was on the radio and I'm not like on TV or the radio, and I know they could be talking about their life, I'd at least periodically tune in to hear what was going on, just to know that my husband was at some place and there's a chance he could be talking, be somewhat interested in that. So it became a conversation. But people are calling in. Ben, go ahead.
Freddie, baby.
Hello, Benjamin.
Hey,
How
Ben.
are you?
Good morning. And shout out to YouTube and Twitch Nation. We all love you, Fred. I was talking to young Nicholas Gemelli yesterday after you were discussing that the baby was still to be named, And I had suggested Benjamin Frederick, obviously, because we are the two most influential people in his life.
Indeed.
And it's funny because Noah grabbed the phone and said, Ayatollah Gemelli. And I think that's what he's going to call his younger brother from now on.
Indeed. They are not getting along, and that would be a good name to call him. Monty is on the line. We will talk to him in a moment. So don't worry, John. We will get to that.
I can't wait. It's been a while.
Monty is here. John, you will come up. Don't you worry. Jeff, go ahead, Jeff.
Freddie, what's up?
What's up?
I was just calling in because I actually named my son Milo, and I kind of got the name from you.
Well, that's not odd. I mean, you listened to the show, you heard the name Milo, you liked it. If Nick would have named his kid Milo, first of all, his scrambling to pretend it had nothing to do with my son being Milo would have been a great delight to me. She doesn't listen to the show. It was on the board.
It's just a name on a board.
Yeah, like written on the board and everything like that.
And everything like that. You understand, Jeff? He had it written on the board and everything like that.
Yeah.
And everything like that. All under the same umbrella. But, Jeff, thank you. I'm glad that you got inspiration for the name. I do think it's a cool name. I can be honest with you. When I was a kid, there was a Thrasher magazine, and it was a guide to things. And it said, when you name your kid, you got to name something cool like Travis or Osgood, because girls will remember it. And that always stuck with me, is that if your name's Dave, the girl might not remember it. Like, I met some guy at a party.
Right.
But if your name's like Osgood, I met Ozzy at a party, that ain't going anywhere.
What about John?
No, too common.
Oh.
You wouldn't think so. That being in this Muslim foothold that we're living.
How did he crush so much tail in his life?
John
Wallach, yeah.
Because he goes by the Wallinator in college.
Oh,
they called him the
all right.
Wall Man,
Right.
Johnny Wallgame. There was a bunch of things. He wasn't just called John. All right, Monty, go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just curious with John, because Eagles have little clutches of eggs. So I'm trying to find out if they name their babies before the eggs crack or after. Because that would definitely change my thoughts.
Yes, you have many names to give it once, because I don't believe it's one egg at a time. There's
No,
more than one
I
egg
think
at a
there are
time.
multiple eggs involved.
Yeah, you see, John is an eagle.
It's usually one to three, but never four. Four is very rare.
Well, John had 2 eggs, so he had 2 kids at the same time. Did you know the names of your kids before they came out?
Yes. We decided about 3 or 4 months beforehand.
Yes. I think we decided before she was even pregnant if it was a boy.
Yeah.
I let her name the daughter. Because I like the name Zoe.
And it's a girl. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. And
Name it whatever
she's
you
not
want.
carrying on the legacy of the family,
Right.
Which is very important to me. You understand?
You know.
The Toucher name needs to go forward. I'll
Yes.
feel, if I'm on my deathbed, know that I have no living male heirs. I'll have a male heir, but if I don't have any, future third generation male heirs, I'm going to be very upset. Very upset. He was that close to being Fred the Fourth, because of course I'm Fred Toucher the Third.
Mm-hmm.
Fred Charles Toucher the Third.
An aristocrat.
Yeah. Exactly.
Louth's kid is a 4th.
I find that to be very appalling.
Does Nick know your middle name is Charles? Because he did consider Charles and Charlie.
Oh, that's right.
God.
I forgot about
good
that.
thinking on your
He would
feet.
Call 12.
And he would know. I mean, he's known you for a very long time, and he is intimately involved with the details of this show, and many of which are your personal details that you share. So
Again, that would be a subliminal thing.
Yeah.
But not to the power of naming his son Milo. Because Charles, throw it in a hat. But
can explain that a bunch of different ways.
But if the kid's name was Milo, he would have pretended, at least for a while, that it had nothing to do with me, and that would have been glorious.
Great.
And it would have made him so uncomfortable.
So much good radio.
Oh, exactly. And he would have been like, I don't know, it was on the board and all of that. Like
written on the board and everything like that.
Yeah, like you would go like, well, it's too big a coincidence. It's like what percentage of the population is named Milo? And he would go, it was written on the board, friend, and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then I would be
In
like,
our room.
and I'd be like, that's not an excuse at all.
Like, you just admit that it was you liked the name, that it was my kid's name. Because who cares? But his insistence that his wife didn't, it would have been so glorious. He would have insisted just like he just did. His wife never listens to the show. She doesn't know what my name was. That my son's name is. That she came up with it. Like, it would have been this whole dance pretending that it had nothing to do with it, when we would have all known that it would.
It was either going to be Milo, Charlie, or after one of the towns in New England, like
Sacopee. That's right. Yes, Sacopee. Buy it on eBay. John, go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to say my brother's name is Chill.
Your brother's legal name?
Chill. That is his real name.
That's his real name. What's up with your parents?
Well, it was the old man. He's from Maine, and he said everybody's named John and Dave and Paul, and he says when he's in school and they call his name, only one is going to stand up.
So Chill, he was a big 311 fan.
There was a story about Jason Lee in our prep, and he said something about his son coming into the shop, and I believe his son's name is Inspector Pilot.
Inspector.
Pilot Inspector.
Pilot Inspector is his son's name.
Yeah.
Jason Lee took a little turn. He was riding for girls' skateboards, and he was in Mallrats, and everything was going okay. And he did My Name is Earl, and I defy anyone to watch more than 10 minutes of an episode before you'd bag out. What happened to him? He got super into Scientology. I know that.
I read the article, and not as into it as like Tom Cruise and stuff like that, although he was in Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise, and you wonder how he got paired up with him. But then he got away from it. He didn't like talking about it. He didn't like talking about it then. He doesn't like talking about it now.
Well, maybe if he talked about it, more people would be talking about him.
He's running his photography shop in L.A. or a camera store or something. It's weird.
Okay. All right. He's like, who's that other guy that skated for Girl, Adam? The big artist guy. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I just
Keith
can't think of
Haring.
his name. Yeah.
No. Long before he died, unfortunately, long before Girl started. Oh, Jesus. He's older than me.
Jackson Pollock.
No, he's not. He's an artist and a skater. I forget his name, and now it's going to drive me crazy.
Banksy.
I have a Banksy.
He did that Casso thing in Japan last year. I know that. I can't think of the guy's name. I'm looking it up.
Yeah,
now.
he's weird. He walks around with a camera taking pictures of everything.
Salvador Dali.
Jeff is his first name? All right, go ahead. Pat, go ahead.
Well, so my last name, I've been nicknamed Milo my whole life. However, you know the best actor that you remember from the movie the TV show Heroes, Hardy, with Ellie Larder, Milo Ventimiglia.
Oh yeah.
Ever seen this guy? Remember him?
Oh
yes, I know Milo Venta. He was Rocky Balboa's son in Rocky 6. I know that guy.
Oh
That's an excellent actor. It's one of my favorite actors. And go watch Heroes season 1 and 2. It holds up. It's been 20 years, and Ellie Larder, she just looks like she's 30 every time.
Well, no,
you watch
Ali
her.
Lauder looks fantastic, and she
Thank
went
you.
to high school with my ex-wife, and my ex-wife can't stop sending me information about Ali Lauder. Apparently, she's nude in Landman or something of that nature, or certainly dressed in a very provocative way. And she's like 52 years old, and she apparently looks fantastic. Women are aging much better now.
There's a guy online hate watching Landman, and I haven't seen any of his recent posts, but they're fantastic. And I'm in lockstep with this guy. Now, I didn't go in on season 2 because it requires like a Paramount Plus thing, but it's Billy Bob Thornton. It's got good, people in it, and it's so freaking horribly unwatchable. This guy decided I can't not watch it now. Now I've devoted some time to it. Now I got to go back in.
I think Demi Moore is part of season 2 now.
Yeah, and it's like the premise of it is great, and you've got good actors in it, and like occasionally you'll have a really good scene, and then you'll have at least half of the episode of the most unwatchable crap you've ever seen on television. It's like, how do these two things exist on the same show?
Yeah, was it John Hamm in season 1? They do have some big names, right?
This is good stuff.
Yeah.
And then horrific, unwatchable stuff.
Huh.
That Milo Ventimiglia guy, he's also in That's My Boy.
Ah, okay. I like that. Oh, yeah. He was in This Is Us.
Yes.
Well, that's where you would go, not Heroes. Yeah, he's the guy who dies in the fire, and This Is Us, with the screwed up mouth.
Or Gilmore Girls, which I think you watched that.
No, I didn't. I watch Gilmore Girls.
Well, you watched Grown Ups too. He's in that too. I know you celebrate Grown Ups too.
Yeah, I fantasize that it's me and my boys.
Yeah,
getting back together at our camp. Any luck with this guy's name?
No, I just
watched a documentary about him,
killing me
too.
because I watched him skate. I sent you that thing, Casso, that Japanese skating competition. It's coming to the United States. He did one last year. He's got a crazy beard now. He's an artist from California. He's a surfer and all that crap. I know
Ed
the guy you're talking
Templeton.
about. Yes.
Thank you. It took me 2 seconds, you dope, and I was talking on the air.
Well,
Check one in
I got
Fred's.
things I got to do.
Check one in Fred's box. Ed Templeton.
Fred
The
Charles.
audience was chomping at the bit. They all wanted to know. You couldn't find it, damn you.
Score one for Fred Charles.
That's right. Make it all about me.
Score one for.
Very good. And by the way, I don't think Ed Templeton's even skated for girls, so I was wrong. All right, so it's Toy Machine. I got it wrong. All right. Look, well, congratulations to Nick. I'm sorry to make it all about me, but as I told Hardy about off the air, you talk to Nick for 15 minutes and try to find some path to go down.
I'm brittle.
That's true. That's true. And who would have known that he could have kids? After, of course, waking up covered in his own poo and pee because his body had failed him so many times. That's right. Right, Nick? Right. That's right, Nick. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Chad Graff, today is the last day that you can tag or you can sign free agents before they get loose to the world. We will talk to Chad Graff about the Patriots' plans as the combine's over and all these things.
best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Well, I mean, not only his future, but what he was able to do for us and come in and provide leadership, work extremely hard in the time that he was rehabbing from the knee. And I think it's just a really good presence each and every week.
I reminisce for a spell, or shall I say think back 22 years ago to keep it on track. The birth
All right, we are Toucher and Hardy. Legal tampering is allowed starting Monday, March 9th at noon. So this Monday, legal tampering in the NFL. I'll never forget, I was going to get a MRI on my back, and I was in the car, and Felger and Mads were over the moon. The Patriots deal.
Hardy announces Jonnu Smith coming to the Patriots.
And everyone was so excited, and you were like, oh, boy.
Look at all these tight ends.
Yeah, you're like, oh, boy. I don't know about this. But then last season, they get Milton Williams, and they get Diggs, and they end up they get the great Robert Spillane, the whole thing, and then they end up making the Super Bowl. So what do you know? And what is it, John? Today is the last day that teams can franchise transition or sign their own players?
4 p.m. this afternoon is the deadline for the franchise tag. There are certain teams under the gun, like Indianapolis, for example, and then free agency begins Monday, like you said.
So for these days, everyone just is in silence.
Yes, these next 5 days, it's a complete blackout. There's nothing.
I wonder if they give you those 5 days so Monday at noon things just start happening and the NFL can go, hello, and then everything just starts going crazy. I'm very
It's strange how that happens. Legal tampering period begins at noon, and at 12:05 the deals start rolling in.
Well, they get 6 days of rest.
Right.
That no one talks to each other. Chad Graff writes about the Patriots for the Athletic. Hello, Chad.
Hi guys, how are you?
We are well. We take a step back from the Patriots just for a moment. Are there any? Is there anything you walked away from this last week thinking in terms of quarterbacks, big names, any big deals that could be had? Any rumors you were hearing?
Well, I think the team that everybody's looking at is probably the Minnesota Vikings. Of what in the world are you going to do after you draft J.J. McCarthy? They badly wanted Drake May. Tried to go up, couldn't make it happen. They get J.J. McCarthy, and last season he stunk, was so bad. And so I think when you're looking at free agency in the NFL, it always starts with the quarterbacks. And when you're looking at the quarterbacks this season, that probably starts with the Minnesota Vikings. So that's where the intrigue really lies. I don't think that the Patriots are going to be as active as they were a year ago. They're not going to be as fun as they were a year ago. They're looking at this more as a chance to fill some holes, I think, than to totally overhaul the roster like they did a year ago.
Do you think Tua will be a starting quarterback in the NFL next year?
I think he'll start some games, but I don't think he's going to be a week one starter, which will be interesting to see. Like, if you put him with Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson, like we were just talking about the Vikings, I don't know. That's a pretty darn good spot for a quarterback. I think he could be fine there. And so, I think Kyler Murray is the other big one of, is a team really going to be willing to go $25 million for a Kyler Murray? Does a Kirk Cousins get a job? Like, there are a bunch of interesting quarterback scenarios. And just to pause for a second, like after what the Patriots had at quarterback the last 5 years, like it's got to be delightful for Patriots and Patriots fans not to be like, oh, maybe we could sell ourselves on Daniel Jones or whatever.
Well, I'll tell you this is apparently Mac Jones and Tanner McKee. Tanner McKee's the backup in Philadelphia. Mac Jones obviously is the backup in San Francisco. The price on these guys is fairly astronomical. Like according to all the writing, like if you want Tanner McKee, who I've never heard of, apparently he went to Stanford. He was a 6th-round pick in 2023. If you want Tanner McKee, at least it starts with like a 2nd-round pick and something else. Apparently.
Even free agents, like for instance, one guy he didn't
Malik
mention.
Willis.
Yeah, Malik Willis is going to get a Justin Fields-like contract that the Jets gave him.
And the thing about
crazy.
Malik Willis is Justin Fields might be the cautionary tale in Malik Willis. Do you think Malik Willis is going to get a ton of money?
Yes, he's going to get an insane amount of money. It might be in the division. It might be the Jets. He's going to get a ton of money.
I don't know if they can do that. Do you think they can go Fields into? And I know people hate this, but you brought it up. Do you think they can go Fields into Malik Willis?
I think that they're probably better off, like, basically punting on this entire year. Aaron Glenn feels pre-fired, and I know, it must be maddening for the Jets fans to be like, what do you mean we're punting on the year? We punted on the last 15 years. There's no way. But that's probably their path because there's just not a quarterback sitting there at number 2 for them. Like, the Oregon quarterback was the guy that they were going to go with. He looked at the situation and was like, nah, I think I'm good, hanging out with Phil Knight and Eugene. I don't need to go to New York and play for the Jets.
Okay, so you mentioned the Patriots and that they're going to be more cautious this season. Obviously, we know edge rusher, receiver, offensive line. Let's talk about offensive line. Okay, so if the Patriots, and Elliot Wolf has said they are looking for tackles, those exact words. If the Patriots, we've been doing this exercise with people, if they were to take a offensive tackle in the first round of the NFL draft this year, some people have said, well, they'd sit him and they'd make him a swing tackle. I don't think you take a tackle in the first round to sit him. What do you think happens? That seems very interesting to me. If the Patriots do take a tackle in the first round, what happens?
Frankly, I think that's a little disappointing. Like, they just went to the Super Bowl, and this is still a roster that I think everybody would concede. Like, man, it still needs some work. There's still some spots that you got to fill. And so to come off the excitement of the Super Bowl with a roster that needs help and then draft a guy that you're just going to sit on the bench for a full year unless Morgan Moses gets hurt, like, gosh, that would just feel a little underwhelming to me.
Is I don't think they would. That's the whole compelling thing with the draft of the Patriots, short of trading for Max Crosby. Like, the whole compelling nature of it is Elliot Wolf said they'll take a tackle, and follow me here, Chad. If I know the Patriots are very stuck on their set of tackle, but if they take a tackle, I cannot imagine Morgan Moses and Will Campbell are your starting tackles. And that's where next season, that's where the intrigue takes foot, is that I do think you'd be taking a starter, or am I out of my mind?
No, I think it's crazy to take somebody at that spot and then sit them on the bench. So I'm with you and following in terms of, like, okay, you kind of got to play this person. It's like if you invest a ton of money in a Milton Williams, obviously you're going to start the guy even if his training camp stinks. Obviously it didn't. I'm just using that as an example. But if you draft somebody, an offensive tackle, at that spot at number 31, it becomes a fascinating decision because, like, I almost wonder if you would rather start that guy at guard, even though that sets off, plenty of alarm bells and concern as is.
Yeah.
Just because with the culture that Mike Vrabel has set, with the way that he has really invested in Morgan Moses, I have a hard time seeing him go into Morgan Moses and be like, hey, you are unbelievable. You helped me flip this thing. How's left guard, which you've never, ever played in your 15-year career? How's that sound? And with the way that he has doubled down on everything with Will Campbell, this is 100% our left tackle. We are keeping this guy. We are good here. It would surprise me then if on May 1st after the draft, he was like, actually, guys, I've been thinking about it, and Will Campbell would be awesome as a left guard.
But what if the kid comes in and he's like, that's just, it's all intrigued and it's all hypothetical, and I understand that, but it just is like, if you take a kid, say Georgia, they got a tackle, and you take a kid, the SEC kid, a huge kid, you bring him in, and you see him in camp, and you're like, oh my God,
there's a guy sitting there. Talking about
like this kid's legit.
Tackle, yeah.
I mean, then everything you said in the offseason, that's why that is just so intriguing to me, is because they have said all these things in the offseason, because they have established this culture. It just is such a. I don't know if you're a competitor and you see a kid that you thought enough to take in the first round, and then he shows in camp that you're not at least considering every option. If it makes your team better, you understand?
Totally. And I don't think it would be Will Campbell who would move, just based off everything that we know
not
about
at first,
Vrabel's relationship with him. Right. Yeah, exactly. I think it would probably be, it would be a really tough conversation, and it would be Morgan Moses. Thank you so much. You've been amazing. How's swing tackle sound? And if you hate that idea, like, maybe we'll respect your wishes and let you find a new spot.
Yeah, and then they got to start almost like a disinformation campaign talking about Will Campbell's injury and how maybe he's going to be better suited to this position because he's still dealing with stuff.
I do like that.
Well, I mean, it would make a lot of sense. What makes more sense to you right now in terms of a priority for the Patriots? leaning into their strengths on the defense or trying to find a suitable number one target for Drake May?
I'm all about trying to find Drake May a suitable number one target, especially with the questions that exist right now with Stephon Diggs. And yet, when you're looking at the Patriots, if they don't upgrade their edge rusher spot in a frankly meaningful way, like not just go get better edge rushers, but build out better depth there and get somebody better than Caleb Von Chason, who I think is going to get paid and was better than I expected for them. But there are avenues that they can get better there. Like Boy Mafe was, if you remember him from the Super Bowl, he was a major disruptor for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yep.
That's an option for them. And so to me, like, go get somebody like that. Caleb Von Chason, thank you so much for your time. You were incredible here. But this is a spot that you got to upgrade. And so even consider, like, I know this is a little bit weird, but consider the 31st pick as an edge rusher in addition to signing an Odafe Owe from the Chargers, who had 3 sacks in that playoff game at Gillette Stadium, or, Boy Mafe or some player like that level.
Chad, I just looked this up. Christian Barmore's arraignment is Monday. And, we were talking a lot about this last month, but I don't think we've asked you this. Is Christian Barmore in the future for this team? Is he going to be on this team? And do you think they act accordingly in free agency next week?
I think for now, he probably is going to be on the team. Will he be on the team 1 year from now? That's where I would express skepticism. But he comes with enough dead cap space for a team that needs to get better on the defensive line, that unless things really go south with this trial and this arraignment, then I do kind of think Christian Barmore is going to be back. They know that there are immaturity issues, but I think the Patriots also feel like they're making progress with him. Elliot Wolf even admitted, which I thought was interesting, that he had a pretty big lull mid-season before he really came on at the end of the season. So it's not even like Barmore was spectacular last season. I just think it's a really big drop-off for them from Christian Barmore to whatever would follow after that, Farmer or something like that.
Okay, what about the depth of this draft? People going into the combine were saying that it's underwhelming, and then everyone sees these guys work out, and then everyone gets excited, and based on their workouts, and there were people that had tremendous workouts. What are the positions of depth? What are the positions people are excited about, or do they think it's a bad draft?
Isn't that how it always works? Of like, oh God, this isn't all that exciting. And then you watch a couple of guys run faster than you expect, and you're like, oh my God, imagine this player with this guy. Like, that would be incredible. It is a little bit of an underwhelming draft class. I don't think this is when you would want a top 5 pick if you were not picking number 1 to get Mendoza like the Raiders will. Outside of that, this is a spot where you can get some edge rushers. And so that's where I think the questions come in for the Patriots of, hey, if this is a deep draft, do you want to go number 31 at edge rusher, or do you want to kind of save that? But I think one of the bigger things to me when looking at the draft and Mike Vrabel's comments was he was pretty clear. We cannot keep coming into free agency being like, we got to sign a number 1 wide receiver. They don't make it to free agency. Like, wide receivers just do not do that. You can get some edge rushers there. You can get defensive tackles. You're not going to get top-end wide receivers in free agency. And his point was, we're going to have to draft and develop them. Well, there hasn't been a team worse at drafting and developing wide receivers than the Patriots. So I'm curious to see if this new regime kind of takes their own shot and uses even the 31st pick at a wide receiver. Like, I know all of the conversation, deservedly so right now, is Stephon Diggs and A.J. Brown and what's going to happen there. But I wouldn't rule out using the 31st pick on a wide receiver.
Well, the way you make it sound is that despite the relationship with A.J. Brown, based on Vrabel's comments, it would seem that they'd want to draft and develop. That's what you just said.
Totally, yeah. I think you'd kind of have to. And
yeah,
the wide receivers showed out pretty well at the combine. It's probably risky to put too much stock in a 40-yard dash, as the Patriots have seen with the wide receiver. But you got to get playmakers. And I think when you look like big picture, how are you using your first-round picks? If the Patriots went quarterback 2 years ago, left tackle 1 year ago, wide receiver this year, like, gosh, you're kind of setting up your quarterback for success if those are your 3 first-round picks back-to-back years.
That would be interesting. And just remember, Aaron Glenn ran a 4.27 in the 40, so just remember that.
He got all tuckered out as a result, apparently.
Yeah, and that's why he took a snooze during the combine, as he was faster than all of them. That was a real interview. Chad Graff, thank you. Read him in The Athletic. We appreciate it. It's a very exciting time of year.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Chad.
we appreciate it. And I was thinking about this yesterday. This is my favorite time of the football season, other than the beginning. and
Right before kickoff, week one.
Yeah, and for obvious reasons.
Everybody's 0-0.
But I thought about this yesterday, Hardy. I do think of the show. I thought about this yesterday, and I thought of you. Like, I love when on Felger and Maz, they're like, these and Jimmy even said it when he was like, do you think that Jimmy Stewart asked me, do you think there'll be like a drop off after the Super Bowl? And I'm like, well, there's free agency in the draft. He's like, yeah, team building, fantasy team building. And like the notion of if you like the draft that is any way nerdier than following other people playing sports, like that when I hear them do that, it's like legitimately funny to me. Like, these nerds are all out there like talking about the draft. I'm into the game. Like, oh, it's all very nerdy.
Yeah, somehow you're Fonzie because you're breaking down like mid-season, regular season NBA and NHL games.
Yeah, Fonzie didn't wear a Green Bay Letterman's jacket.
Yeah.
It's none of this is very cool.
While us dorks are talking about, who they might pick to play on the team next
And
year.
in fact, I could argue team building is the most realistic of all of it because most of us knew at a very early age we were not destined to play professional sports. All of us, just by what could have at least studied to become a general manager of something. At least, did you understand what I'm saying? Like, you were never going to be like center field for the Red Sox, but there was a chance you could be the general manager of the Red Sox. You just had to have an analytical mind.
Absolutely.
And get into that. But Jimmy Stewart said that to me after the Super Bowl. He was like, yeah, this fantasy, or something along the lines of fantasy team building. And I'm like, how is this any worse than anything we talk about? It's all not cool.
Yeah.
It's like you're putting very not cool things in a whole hierarchy of what's not the coolest.
Okay.
Which I find, like regular season basketball is cooler than the NFL draft.
Way cooler.
Well, for you, but I at least know the draft is certainly not cool. I love it, but neither is any of this.
Hammering some kid who's a third defensive pairing for allowing entry into the zone in some game in January.
I mean, it's all what we do and it's all what we care about, but all of it's very meaningless. I mean, let's not start ranking it in terms of the meaninglessness of it. I mean, please. I know, Jay. You got me every time. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline.
listen to Toucher and Hardy.
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy. So my daughter, I didn't have my kids this week. My daughter on Friday night around like 11 o'clock FaceTimes me. I'm exhausted. I was unable to nap on Friday. And she goes, I want to go see A$AP Rocky this summer. Like, that would be nice to do. And I'm like all tired. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, you remember the shows that your parents took you to? And in fact, I do. I don't remember anything, but I remember every concert. I vividly remember being there. I went to 6 of them. My parents took me to 6 concerts when I was a kid, and I remember all of them, and I remember it vividly.
Which ones?
Judas Priest, Def Leppard, the Temptations and Four Tops, Men at Work, Beastie Boys, License to Ill, and now I can't remember the 6. Maybe there were 5. But Judas Priest, Defenders of the Faith tour.
Nice.
Def Leppard, Pyromania tour.
Yeah.
Beastie Boys, License to Ill. Men at Work, Cargo.
Oh.
Temptations and Four Tops was In Excess opened for Men at Work, so maybe they took me to
Now,
5.
the Temptation show, did they mostly play their older stuff?
No, it was all disco. It was funny. When I was a little kid, I was like obsessed with Motown, and then I got into metal. I righted the ship and got into metal.
Motown, Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
And then metal.
Right. Yeah. I was super into the Blues Brothers. As you know, in 5th grade, me and my friend Alex Cho dressed as the Blues Brothers. So anyway, so I buy these tickets, and they're very expensive. To see A$AP Rocky in Detroit, because it's in July, and I would rather go to Detroit and at least get to Detroit and spend a couple days there than go see A$AP Rocky at the Garden. If I'm going through I don't know if anyone understands, but if I'm going to go through the exercise of seeing these people live, I would like to be in an environment where I'm very happy. So, so I buy these tickets, and I kind of don't remember like what's going on. Like, it's late at night, and then I look at the email. I've bought a whole VIP experience because that's how you buy tickets. They're all attached to a quote unquote VIP experience. Now, this is not the one I bought, but Hardy, especially for you since you've been backstage at a lot of shows, put yourself in the shoes of the ultimate front row VIP experience. So you get to front row at the lower bowl.
Okay.
You get a personal concierge escort for you throughout the evening, which has got to be a tremendous luxury.
I'm trying to decide what you would need that for, but go ahead.
And get this. So this is the VIP front row experience. Okay. Try to get with this. Access to a behind-the-scenes tour sounds good, right?
Yeah.
Group photo opportunity, right? On stage before the show. This is great. With a quick Q&A with a select member of the crew.
Oh, the crew.
The lighting crew or the sound crew or any janitorial staff that may be around.
Yeah.
What a highlight. Imagine being with the guys that drive the semi-trucks. Now, it's a cool life, and you get laid a lot, and there's a lot of drugs, speed especially. But the idea of, like, I get to do a Q&A with a union worker for this VIP experience. You don't even get to meet him. There's not even a walk-by photo opportunity. There's not even like a hello and then a quick photo shot. A crew member? Why the hell is that even involved? So I got to get to I didn't buy this. I got the premium VIP lounge experience, which is very exciting. There's hors d'oeuvres, but very limited if you wanted good seats. It's all these packages. But so I got to get to say I love A$AP Rocky and I'm a kid. It's like the biggest thing I've ever wanted to do in my entire life to see this guy. So take me out of it. So I got to get to the venue at like 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yes.
Dick around outside while someone, and I'm sure it's a whole streamlined operation where they get you right away.
Oh yeah, you're waiting around for a long time for something to happen, and then when the things start to happen, it's all underwhelming.
Yeah, and then they get you, and then it's a whole rush job because they're doing it in every city. These aren't like concierge experiences. These are all they all do the same thing every city. And then I stand up on the stage while the house lights are all up. There's no one in the arena. I'm standing on the stage, which might be interesting for a moment, but then you get a quick Q&A. It specifies quick Q&A with a
select member of the crew, and not crew like CRUE with like Omnibus, whatever the hell they're called. They're not like a member of the umlauts, not the ASAP Rocky crew. A member of the effing touring crew.
Assistant wardrobe personnel assistant.
Oh, I think you would get a guy that is a gaffer, or like someone who's like hanging lights.
Well,
or
you
something
might get
like that.
somebody who like takes the stuff to the dry cleaners in each city that they get to and finds a 1 hour Martinizing.
And then I don't have to tell you, but you get like at least autograph stuff and like that. But it's like,
so this is what's funny about these VIP packages is I'm sure it's included in one of these, Fred. Special access to the merch area.
Yes, it's in all of them, and that is not. It's ridiculous, but at least that's a tangible benefit, so you don't have to stay in line for like 4 hours. At Olivia Rodrigo, I bet you the line, there were 2 merch stands, and the lines interconnected, meaning that
halfway around.
I took a picture of it. Like the lines went fully halfway around the arena.
And for the younger shows, it's a big problem, but still at its core, it is,
yes,
we're going to give you the opportunity to spend even more money much faster.
Okay, so I don't drink, and to my knowledge, my daughter doesn't drink. In order to get the tickets I got, this is what I got. A behind-the-scenes tour with a group photo opportunity on stage and a quick... I still get the Q&A with the crew member. We're going to skip that. But I get a private pre-show VIP club lounge dedicated to the ultimate and premium VIPs, which includes a souvenir flute to take home with me. A VIP bar with beer, wine, and a signature top shelf specially inspired cocktails. This is all going to be kids and their parents. Delectable hot and cold hors d'oeuvres. And a photo experience to share on my socials.
Did you say a souvenir flute?
George, I'll give it to you if it's true. I get exclusive premium merchandise back as well. Would anyone care to guess per ticket how much, or how much the 2 tickets total cost me with taxes?
$750.
Just below $750.
Yeah.
And these were not secondary market. These were, and it's at Little Caesars Arena. And you think I'm good skipping this Q&A with the select crew member? I think I just.
No, I'm going all in.
I'm probably gonna end up going.
If it ends up being like a technical person, a lighting guy, or someone who's doing the rigging or something, yeah, I'd be all in.
Zoe will love it.
Yeah,
she'll be super into it.
I only bought one of these once for my kids, and it was for Calvin when he was very little. We got the ultimate VIP backstage.
I know this one
for the Fresh Beat band.
Yeah, up in Lowell, right?
No. I think we saw. Maybe we saw Fresh Beat Band or someone else up in Lowell. This was at Harbor Lights.
Did you get to meet him?
Not only do we get to meet him, it's one of like the best moments of his childhood because like during the show he didn't care. He's just like playing along with his job. He doesn't quite get that he's actually seen it. He was too young. But when we go backstage, he's so enamored with Marina, the drummer. And he's standing there and he's looking at her and he's giving her, like the big eyes. And you're only supposed to have a couple of minutes, with twist and with shout. But as he's walking away, we have our time with the Fresh Beat Band. We're walking away. She jumps out of her seat, runs after him, and gives him a kiss on the cheek.
Ooh.
And I have a photo of it.
I don't like that.
Oh, well.
Measles.
Yeah. Not only did we like it as parents, but Calvin liked it, and it was one of those moments. Now that one, I think, for the Fresh Beat Band, which included some merch with it, I think those were like $250 each.
You're meeting the artist. Like if you want to meet the artist, I understand. But I used to think it was ridiculous that Kiss would ask for money. Oh, that's very cute. Oh, look at that.
Now,
He's
that's
delighted.
I mean,
you should get that tattooed.
Look at that. I mean, you ever seen a happier kid in your life?
Certainly not mine. In any occasion. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. There is a member of the NBA community that is outraged. We will discuss.
You're listening to Toucher and Hood.
Defense, dnvanlines.com.
From the Town Fair Times and News. Dutcher and Hardy. Owen Beetle. Felger and Mass. The Bruins. The Celtics. The Pats. The Revolution. This is Boston's home for sports. WBC FM at HD Boston. 98.5 The Sports Hub. A Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
24 hours after center Nemias Queta had a career night for the Celtics, first-round draft pick Ugo Gonzalez came through in a big way, and the Celtics won for the second time in as many nights, 108-81 in Milwaukee. Gonzalez had 18 points and 16 rebounds, and the Celtics blew out the Bucks on a night when they didn't have Jaylen Brown either. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 19 in his return for the home team. Celtics have tonight off. They'll host Charlotte tomorrow night. Bruins play tonight at home against Pittsburgh. Sidney Crosby out for the visitors after hurting himself in the Olympics. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. In Red Sox news, they won an exhibition game yesterday, 7-6 over Toronto in Dunedin, Florida. Sox now 6-4 in games that don't count. They're back in Fort Myers tonight to play the Puerto Rican World Baseball Classic team. And the NFL deadline to use the franchisor transition tag is 4 p.m. this afternoon. The Detroit Lions have traded running back David Montgomery to Houston. Washington yesterday released former Pro Bowl defensive back Marshawn Lattimore. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 Restaurant. Head to the Nines this Thursday night to play trivia. Enjoy six packs of bone-in wings. And for a chance to win 99 gift cards and other great prizes, you gotta love the Nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
The Sports Hub. 3 legendary franchises on one legendary radio station. It's the Sports Hub. Fred describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Dutcher and Hardy continues on the
Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. We announced the Hawks gave us the permission to announce that they will be having Magic City night at their at a game coming up here. Magic City is a strip club that I never went to in Atlanta. It is a strip club that is a African American, majority African American strip club. But what it was for at least a time, there's a bunch of producers and a bunch of music being made in Atlanta, and people would make songs. You know, they tend to work at night. Musicians tend to work at night. They would take their songs, and then Magic City was indeed the first place. Like the Yin Yang Twins would play a song, and they'd see how it went over at the club. Now, I will tell you this.
Now, I have one question first. Now, you never went there, and
No.
it's not because you were afraid of going to a place that was...
No, I'm racist. That's why. My incredible racism.
Would it be?
I'm not positive where it is, but go ahead.
Would it be the equivalent of like being in Boston and never going to Cheers? It's like not something that the locals necessarily do because now it's become this thing that's.
I don't know. It's like ingrained. When I was there, I lived in Atlanta from like 99 to 2000, 98 to 2006, and during that period of time, it was like just ingrained in a subculture that I wasn't involved in. Like I worked for a rock station. There was Brendan O'Brien and all these producers of rock things, and it crossed over into rap. I mean, I am on El Puss's first LP featuring Thuggin' in the Suburbs.
Easy with the name dropping.
Well, I mean, listen, I did cross over into many black artists, but in terms of that like heavy bass culture, like the So Def Bass All-Stars had them, if I could tell you, with Jermaine Dupri. That's not it.
Wait,
don't worry about it.
No, nobody cares.
You didn't call for
They're
one.
on
You asked
So
for-
Def. The label is So Def.
Yeah,
You asked for Ghost Town DJ.
No, but we don't need it. Go ahead.
Don't forget about it. It's too late now. So anyway,
Never wanted it in the first place.
when you went into Atlanta, there was a billboard. I know we worked it all out. It was very hard. When you first got into Atlanta, when you were driving back from Hartsfield Airport, there was a billboard that said, it had a picture of So Def, and it said, "Welcome to Atlanta, the home of So Def." You know, they're very heavy into bass music. But I don't even know where Magic City was. Like the Gold Club where the Knicks got in trouble was right by where my first apartment, walking distance of my first apartment.
Did you go there?
Yeah. I mean, I went to strip clubs all the time. And what I was going to say is that in Atlanta, strip clubs, in fairness, are more of a part of the city than they are in Boston and other places that I've lived.
Okay.
Women went to them, like people like hung out. Like there are infinite. I mean, the most infamous strip club was the one with Blondie, the Claremont Lounge. You've obviously heard of the Claremont Lounge. It was
no.
Yes, you have. You have heard of the Claremont Lounge. If you might not remember it off the top of your head, but you have heard of it. Every band wanted to go to the Claremont Lounge. It was this terrible strip club. I was within walking distance of my first house there. And it was this terrible strip club. There was a woman, Blondie, that crushed cans of Pabst in between her boobs. It was a whole situation. You have heard of it. I know you don't remember it, but
put
you
me
have
under
heard of it.
hypnosis, and we'll find out if I've heard of it. But
Well,
John,
you
have you ever heard of it?
I only heard of it because they've explained it to me. Fred has explained it to me multiple times.
But I
during the
was,
show.
but I
didn't know coming into the show.
Well, yeah, but it was a part of the culture. But the Magic City wasn't the part of the culture, the subculture that I was involved in. But I can tell you why that Magic City is being honored at a Hawks game, and it is because Jamie Gertz, who is married into this whole ownership of the Atlanta Hawks, is producing a docuseries called Magic City, the American Fantasy, along with Jermaine Dupri, who is Atlanta royalty. So these two are going out and they are making this documentary, and this is obviously a way to produce it, and it being the absurdity of a strip club being honored, and also that T.I. is doing a halftime performance of a non-All-Star game weekend.
Mm-hmm.
He who is many platinum records, that's a pretty big step down for T.I. just being at a random. I mean, think about who does random halftime shows. It's like Spinning Plates Lady on the unicycle. I mean, you know,
Red Panda.
Yeah, I mean, like there or like
Now, that I've heard of.
Oh yeah,
or some kind of trampoline dunk scenario. I mean, T.I. is performing at this thing, but we all can't just sit back and let life happen. Some people have to speak out. And Luke Cornett, who you miss wildly.
Oh yeah,
Luke Cornett is speaking.
Look around and find out.
That's right. That is Sean Grandy. Very clever stuff. Because Luke sounds like look. And look.
That's why he said it.
And look around and find out is a common turn of phrase, except it's not.
Look around and find out.
Yeah.
I don't. Have you ever heard anyone say "look around and find out"? Mess around and find out. F around and find out.
But it's
look
four
around.
letters with the U as the second letter, and that's where you get Luke and the other one.
That's a big leap. There's not the hard vowel.
If you're a big dummy, but if you're smart like me, not dumb like people say, then you figure out what Grandy is saying immediately.
People do know to experience sports on the radio. Live play-by-play takes a certain bandwidth that most of us don't have. It's a theater of the mind.
You go ahead and look around and find out. Meanwhile, I've gone down the Jamie Gertz rabbit hole here and forgot that she was also in 16 Candles.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be right back, Carolyn, baby.
You know why you don't remember her in 16 Candles? Because she's not hot. Like, that's the funny thing about her. She's not hot.
She's pretty hot in Quicksilver. She's one of those bike messengers.
I know what it is. I never saw it. Blair, she was Blair in Less Than Zero, and Blair from Less Than Zero should have been like a femme fatale, and it's Jamie Gertz. You're like, what's everyone so hung up on Blair for? Blair on Facts of Life should have played Blair in Less Than Zero. And then Tootie could have been in it too. But nonetheless, Luke Cornett.
Yep.
Now, does he play in Atlanta? The answer to that is no. He plays in San Antonio, which has nothing to do with Atlanta.
But he's got something to say about this because it has to do with the NBA.
And he he wrote in a letter to Medium, which is where you go. It's the source of record. When one is in a jam, you turn to the good people of Medium, where we've all been several times. We all love Medium. The best people work for Medium.
I've got it bookmarked. I go there every day just to see what's up.
It's in the sea of the internet. It's a beacon bouncing on the top of with light on the top of the internet. He doesn't like it. He says the NBA should desire to protect and esteem women.
Oh,
many of whom
I like that as a
diligently work every day to make this the best basketball league in the world. We should promote an atmosphere that is protective and respectful. And then he goes John Mayer on the people of the daughters, wives, sisters, mothers, and partners that we know and love.
To his point, NBA is really slipping in terms of their world status as a basketball league. You can name 3 off the top of my head right now that are bigger and better than the NBA. So,
well, they're starting from a position of weakness because they are in the United States of America and Canada.
Right.
It says, regardless of how women finds her way into the adult entertainment industry, many of this experience abuse, harassment, and violence to which they should never be subjected. If I'm Magic City, maybe I don't like that part. Maybe if I'm Magic City, I'm going, now we're crossing into, what are you insinuating is happening here, and why are you insinuating it's happening? Like, this is a medium. If I was advising Luke Cornett, if I was his press person or his agent, I'd say maybe stay away from that, because what are we putting our finger in now? Why Magic City? You're getting very specific, and it's not just about women stripping. It's now about Magic City, and why Magic City?
Dancing, please.
Have I even said stripping?
You just said stripping.
I don't know. I'm on a huge stream of consciousness roll. But is it because it's a black strip club? Adam, play the music. Either one.
Thank you. You dancing.
I like it. Yeah, raise the roof.
That's my new dance show.
Look at that.
Make a line.
It's the chest press. I like that. That's good.
See, you guys didn't have a new dance show around here. And you know what advertised on the Detroit New Dance Show when it played on community television? Hat stores.
Yeah.
And not baseball cap stores. Hat stores.
Well, they're the 2 closest stores, Man Oh Man and Boy Oh Boy.
Yeah. It was just, it's like acres of hats. Hats and Stacey Adams shoes. But nonetheless.
So Luke Cornett
is
says,
a big party. He's a big turd in the punch bowl. Everyone's trying to have a good time, and Luke gets in the middle of it. Go ahead.
No, he's bringing up the thing that I thought more people would be jumping out in front of him. Maybe they are in Atlanta right now. There have to be people in Atlanta who say, look, this is a part of the community and this is something, but that doesn't mean that it needs to be celebrated by an otherwise legitimate organization.
Yeah, but you figure religious nuts and things like that it's like an affront to God. Things like that.
I would say that, and I would say feminists probably aren't down with that.
But there are feminists that are very supportive of women in the adult industry. So it is if you want a serious conversation, it is, do women have a right as individuals to express themselves sexually in a way that rewards them? Or are we to protect them as men and say you're not allowed to do that?
I would guess that the feminist party line on this is, we're not going to stop these things from existing, but if they do exist, the women who work there deserve to be treated with respect, and they should have a safe work environment, and that's not always the case. So I'm guessing that feminists, as a rule, are against places like this, but if they are but since they do exist, then we have to make them the best places possible for these women to work.
That's painting with a broad brush. I'm not sure that's true, because it's...
Well, I am a feminist, and I'm telling you it's true.
Yeah, but you're of a certain subset of feminism. Ask Adam. He'd know.
Adam? A real feminist.
Where do feminists stand on this?
The point that Hardy is making is one that has been made by female feminists that I know that have actually worked in the sex work industry, and they say...
Thank you.
So they're against...
Some of them are. They say sex work is real work, and it should be protected and celebrated.
Well, you're saying my point of view.
Celebrated,
so Adam, you didn't say Hardy. You're countering Hardy.
I'm sharing. You guys tagged me in, so I'm just I'm sharing it.
Right. So Adam is. See, I think I'm more in tune with what the feminists are into now. We always rely on Adam for these things, and Adam says as individuals, they have the right to express themselves sexually, and if they are rewarded for that financially, that is their choice. That's what you're saying.
Yes, I have heard that statement.
So have I.
One of us from someone that's not us. Yes.
Yes, we are riot girls.
Get LBF in here.
Here we go. Now we're
I don't know.
Well, the way she was objectifying Nicholas.
Seriously,
she was going to say she was going to eat his juicy thighs.
She's a good source for any of this.
Get Kathleen Hanna on the phone. I'll give you her number.
I'm going to be talking about Nick's juicy thighs.
That's right. I don't. We'll get to. How many Bikini Kill T-shirts does she have? Adam has at least one.
I have one.
Adam has a Bikini Kill T-shirt that he's an ally.
That's right.
Because I don't want to deal with that. Pluck him.
That's right. She says pluck. but it sounds dangerously close to what she really wants.
Nick, the producer, he's juicy.
Get her in there. She's saying, let them host fight.
No. This is a real song. No. They wanted to let the hoes fight. No. The hoes are fighting. Let them fight. And a feminist would sit back and they would say, the hoes are fighting. It's their choice to fight. Let the hoes fight.
As long as they have chosen
If they were men, would they be allowed to fight?
I mean, people are honored. I mean, Sugar Ray Leonard is a national hero. Marvin Hagler, you can't get in 2 steps in Brockton without seeing his picture. Why can't the hoes fight? You understand? It's a hoe fight. Let it happen. You know? Anyway.
Yeah.
The bottom line is that Jamie Gertz is part owner of the Falcon or the Hawks, and she's producing a docuseries on Magic City. And all of this is, she probably couldn't think she'd send Cornette a nice gift basket because it got us to talk about it in Boston. So here you go.
And she was also in Crossroads with Ralph Macchio.
If that's a movie you've seen more than once, I'd be very
Is that
surprised.
love interest to Ralph Macchio?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen like a couple of scenes from it, but I've never watched it in its entirety.
I think I've seen it once. Of course, I've seen the famous Steve Vai guitar scene against Ralph Macchio.
Well, I saw the part where he gets the pig amp, and, you know, it's like this crappy little amp, but somehow it makes the right sound. You know, it's not about the best amp, it's about the right amp.
Well, he plays the devil at the end, which is original, but Steve Vai, if you watch it, does destroy him. Steve Vai Steve Vai goes crazy on the guitar, and then Ralph Macchio starts playing like slide guitar, and you're like, okay, stop it.
Again, because you don't understand it.
Yeah, I know. I don't get
I'll loan you my Robert Johnson box set,
True
and
to
that
the
way
music.
you can really.
How long
understand
will I
the
have to sit
roots.
with it in my car before I pretend to like it?
Well, they're all
with
at
any kind of
78, so you have
believability.
to have a special record player
He's got a
for them.
point.
Yeah.
How long do I have to look at the front of it before I start believing I like
How
it?
long will I have to sit within my car before I run a tube from the exhaust pipe into the driver's side window? About 10 minutes.
Close the garage door.
I mean, I listen to all these rock biographies, and those guys can't say enough about how much Robert Johnson influenced them. I'm like, no, he didn't. No.
You're just saying it.
You're just saying it to sound interesting.
Because you think you have to say it.
Yeah, you got to go like 2 generations past that. Those recordings are unlistenable. They're horrible recordings, and they're not good. All of it's wrong. All right. Well, there you go. Luke Cornette is a hero to women, and it has been established John is the enemy. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hood.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Big breaking news. Logan Webb is going to start the Game 1 of the World Baseball Classic.
Mm-hmm.
When it starts pool play on Friday.
Yep.
Starting pool play.
Scooble's going to pitch Game 2.
He's pitching 2 or 3 innings, and then he's going back to Lakeland,
Right.
so I don't really know why he's on the team.
55 pitch max limit. Scooble's going to make $400 million next year. And so if I'm him, I stay away from this tournament as much as possible. The last thing I want to do is injure myself in a tournament that really I have no stake in.
Yeah, the timing of this tournament is incredibly weird for pitchers, like bad.
Yes.
That there's a whole ramping up situation when you pitch, and there's a whole, I mean, there is this, as quasi-science as they can do, no one knows. No one, Jeff Passan has the book The Arm if you're interested. No one really knows, but there is a belief to limit injuries and build arm strength, and having them go full tilt in the beginning of March is not a recipe for having all of your juice left in October.
But that's the thing. I mean, apparently the U.S. team is all in this year. They're really taking it seriously. Scott Boras, I think, is Tariq Scooble's agent. I mean, Scott Boras has got to be like...
Well, he even made a joke. They said, are you going to go to Arizona to watch him pitch? And he goes, no, I'll be at home, like, on the couch freaking out.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But, I mean, how much of this stuff, and I wish I wasn't so cynical all the time, but I do mean, like, how much of this are we supposed to care about? Like, you're following the Olympics, and, like, that was a whole thing.
This has always been my point about all this stuff, Fred. We only have so much bandwidth, right? And even if and we all enjoy sports in a lot of different forms, to the point where, yeah, I'll turn on anything if there's a competition, they're keeping score, the ACL Cornhole Championship. If it's on ESPN2 early on a Sunday morning, I'll look at it for a second. But to really invest in all this stuff and care about it and know who's playing in the World Baseball Classic and why and when, it's like, I can't. I can't pretend, nor would I ever pretend to care about everything that's happening. You can't.
Maybe in a non-Olympic year, we would care a little bit more. But after just watching the product that we saw during the Winter Olympics, more to your point, Fred, where the play was fantastic and everybody cared and everyone was going all out, you have pitchers that are just trying to get in shape. You have hitters that, it's early March. I mean,
can we get beyond even the quality of play? It's that, like, now I got to root for this U.S. team all of a sudden. Like, who cares?
No.
Like, do you honestly, when you look at yourself, do you care if the United States wins the World Baseball Classic as an American?
No.
Who cares?
And you could, and don't even have to make an argument. I get it. Caring that the U.S. beats Canada in hockey, that's a thing. The baseball, I don't.
And I understood the United States in hockey and for men and women, because, especially the women, because they've, that's the main competitor, but the men, in that USA hockey has always been like a secondary product, and because guys all grew up playing against each other. Like, I didn't find myself, for whatever reason, like going nuts when the USA won. I thought it was a great game. I wasn't incredibly invested in who won until I saw Bennett go into the penalty box. I remembered he was on the team, and I went, I'd like to see him lose. I don't like him, and I like that he made a terrible mistake in that game. But nonetheless, like, now I got to care about being, like, from the United States in, like, a fake tournament. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
totally
how much national pride is on the line at all times? This national pride is on the line at all times. It's I can't, like, it's enough. Like, we care. Like, who the hell's on this team?
What, the U.S. team?
Yeah, I know they have stars,
Anthony,
but I can't tell you what the lineup is. Like, I can't tell. I know, John, you play fantasy baseball.
No. I wasn't going to start with that. What I was going to say is, despite the fact they have all of these stars,
Right.
I agree with you.
Right.
There's no national pride on the line. So, U.S. lost to Japan 3 years ago. It was fun because Shohei Ohtani had to get Mike Trout for that last out. But ultimately, I don't think a lot of people cared. I don't think there's revenge. There's a revenge arc against Japan this time around. And I understand why Rob Manfred is in on it. It's another way to kind of bring the sport worldwide, but there's no good time to do this either, the way the baseball season is.
Right.
So you can't stop the season for a month to do this.
Yeah.
Or you can't do it after the season.
No.
And no one really cares about it. Now, the players, although they might care, are more concerned with their health, like Tarek Skubal, than actually participating
And
in this thing.
Otani's not pitching this.
No,
No,
he's
if I
gonna be
was
a
the
DH.
Dodgers, I would.
No
you're out
way.
of your mind. You're
No.
coming off an injury. You're not pitching.
Email from
Well,
Joe.
I got to do the sponsor real quick if we're pivoting to email. Yeah, that pesky money coming in. The
Do
email,
it, man.
Jeffrey, I'm sorry. I apologize for Hardy. My friend Jeffrey Glassman, the solid Jeffrey Glassman, and his injury attorneys. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com.
Yeah, your friend. I call him Jeff.
Whoop. The cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. Joe emailed. He said, we're going to talk about Jamie Gertz and not mention that she couldn't spare a square for Elaine.
Be Real sent that text as well. I'm a little ashamed of both of us for not going immediately to that.
Well, not only, I mean, the sparing a square is fine, but she is the voice of the sex phone operator.
Indeed.
Because her voice is flinty.
Who is the hottest girl that Jerry ever dated?
Sidra.
I know off the top of my head.
Sidra. They're real and they're spectacular.
Janine Garofalo. They were engaged.
That's right.
Who's the feminist now?
The breakup was fantastic.
That was a great breakup. Okay. You know who, far and away? Because George had the really hot one in the whale episode.
Right.
But that woman was like kind of the Super Jerry episode where the race.
Oh, Lois. Yes.
Lois in the race. That's the hottest woman.
What
that he
about
ever
Pam? Pam?
Which one's
Pam?
Pam?
Pam.
Which one's Pam?
The one she can bring home the bacon and fry it up in a pan. The one that Kramer becomes enamored with.
I don't remember.
He wants to change her hair from a tortoiseshell clip to a velvet scrunchie.
Wow, I don't remember that one.
That's really impressive. I
You know, he has
I
very
don't remember
specific
that.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, there's that, and then Ryan said that the Magic City situation reminds me of the episode from The Simpsons when Smithers has two strippers in his lap and he's crying. That's Luke Cornett. I can't remember that episode of The Simpsons though. Is Smithers in a strip club? Hello?
I don't remember.
No.
Dude, I haven't
No.
watched The Simpsons in 40 years.
No idea.
Ever since Grunge Homer, I can't in good conscience watch that show at all. It might have been the worst episode of television I've ever seen, and that's not hyperbole. There was an episode where Marge and Homer are in college, and Homer is in a grunge band and becomes addicted to heroin or whatever they pass as heroin. And it like flips everything. None of it's like linear. It's all stupid. It's all based on stupid tropes. It was like total nerds.
There were too many episodes of The Simpsons where I could see it was going to be a Lisa-centric episode, and I can't.
I don't like that style of like just insulated, bubbled Harvard comedy. Like I think it all gets churned out, and it was clever at first, and now it's all repetitive and redundant and not with the zeitgeist. Our friend Riz says the Riz fam, this is why I F with you, bro. You dumb, funny dancing to black strip club music. What was dumb about that? That was new dance show.
It's just unsettling.
Someone made
like
fun of my hat. It's a Pete Frady's hat. Frady's Foundation.
Back-to-back days with the Pete Frady's hats for you.
I'm representing. It's the organization I work, the charity I work closest with. And they're saying, really?
Well, you say you work, you've worked close with them?
Yeah. Well,
tell me about the work you've done with them.
I went.
The meetings you've attended and the planning committees you were on.
Oh, no, not that much. That's why I said they're saying you do. Because I went to the thing at BU, and I'm coaching in the hockey tournament. So the last two events that I was here for, I'm attending and participating in.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not at a high level. It's operating at a way that I think is a little above my guidance. I don't have my own foundation.
which would be very profitable for tax reasons, but I do not have that. I could LLC the whole thing, scoop everything through there, have it come out the other end. I ain't paying a dime. I don't know how that all operates. That's well above me. But that's why I made the joke. They're saying we're the one you're the closest to. Because they're probably like, what you did is you wear a hat and you went to a couple of things.
Right.
But that's about the extent of my charitable donations. What can I tell you? I'm a bad person.
Oh, Zach Zolo reaching out. Haven't heard from Zach in a while. Hey, guys, are your kids older than the affordable insurance ad?
Mm-hmm.
That thing's been on pre-pandemic. I am genuinely shocked. Well, I invite all advertisers to not only place their advertising, but do it for years and years and years on end.
Great return for your investment.
Well, you know what?
And you remember it. So
Well, you're becoming-
affordable insurance. Yeah.
It's. I have a friend. My best friend's in advertising, and we talked about it last week. Do you want a brand, or do you want one person, one time to consume your product? Do you want to be a facial tissue company, or do you want to be Kleenex? And the way that you become Kleenex, the way that you become a brand like that is to have your brand out there in people's ears over and over and over.
do you want to be
again.
a cotton swab, or do you want to be a Q-tip?
Exactly. And that's the way that you have to think if you're a business owner. Do you want to be something that comes top to mind, or do you want to be something that someone on the off chance is watching a certain streaming service and sees your ad while they happen to need it? Like, for instance, you have a plumbing company. Are you betting on the person that's watching the streaming show to need a plumber right then? Or do you want someone when they ultimately need a plumber to remember your plumbing company? And that is the difference. I had that talk with my friend who's an advertising executive. It had nothing to do with radio.
Top of mind awareness.
Kaboom.
That's where it is.
Frank L., you'll be ashamed of yourself, Hardy. We were speaking of the Claremont Lounge. Bubba Sparks has a song called Claremont Lounge. You know, and Fred just unlocked a douchey memory. Ha. Lots of things about Nick's son, but that was too long ago, and I don't have time during the show to go through all your emails. Sue me.
Yeah. A lot of people here, the emails I see, are convinced that he was going to name his son Milo, but kind of backed off
I don't
at the
think there's
last
any
minute.
doubt about that. It's
the way he answered the questions. Milo was the number one name.
They liked the name Milo.
Yes, they liked it.
And then they had the internal debate of if they could really name him Milo because my son's named Milo. That's yes.
That would account for the couple of days where they had no name. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of the emails. The reason that the delay
I
was
like that.
it was Milo, and then no, we can't do that, so now we have to pivot.
I don't know about if that's the way it went down exactly. It's quite possible, but there was certainly at least conversation if they could name the kid Milo. I mean, he admitted that they were considering it, so it had to have come down to the wire with that.
Yeah, his wife was the one who nominated the name, so I'm sure she was in on it.
But was she in bed, or did she get up and write it on the board?
We had written on the board and everything like that.
Yeah, when we asked him the names, he said, is a way to explain the name that he named his son. He said he had names written on the board and all of that
We
stuff.
had written on the board and everything like that.
And everything like that. Oh, like everything like that, like writing it on the board. Which, of course, there was no context of where the board was, what the board was. Was it a figurative board? Was it a literal board? It was just we had it written on the board and all that kind of stuff. Which even the board, we don't know what that is, let alone all that kind of stuff.
No.
Not exactly Mark Twain, that Nick, when telling a story, weaving a tale.
I'm brittle.
A lot of information being left out. All right, nonetheless,
Instagram.
Congratulations to Nick as he's got now 2 sons as he proceeds in life. And if he can do it, anyone can. All right, we will be back in just a moment to finish things up.
Essentials. Dutcher and Hardy.
Individuals who seek acceptance, respite, and care.
98.5, the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Dutcher and Hardy.
All right, it is the stack. As today, what is it, 4 o'clock, John, that you have to,
Yes, 4 p.m. All NFL teams, that's the deadline to put either use their franchise or transition tag.
Is there any information leaking out about what could be happening? Anything exciting?
Daniel Jones, they're talking about the transition tag. You know about Breece Hall. They're talking about the transition tag, but nothing beyond that.
The transition tag is interesting because it gives you the right to match, but then you get do you get draft compensation in return?
Not under the transition tag if another team signs him away. No.
Okay. All right, so I think they're going to transition tag Breece Hall while they work for a contract.
The Colts thing is very interesting because they're tied to Daniel Jones. They have to bring him back one way or another after trading 2 first-round draft picks for Sauce Gardner. They're not going to be able to draft a guy. And they're going to trade Anthony Richardson. They've already told him to seek a trade somewhere else. So they have to either sign Daniel Jones by 4 o'clock this afternoon or tag him. And if they tag him, they'll lose their top wide receiver, Alec Pierce, who's going to get $25 or $30 million a year from somebody.
The strength and positioning that the Colts have, though, is that I can't believe another team would pay Daniel Jones as much as the Colts. Like, Daniel Jones is in-house and had success for a little while. But if you're another team, are you going, we're going to take Daniel Jones, put him in a system that he's never been in, and you're our guy. This blows everything up. If this doesn't work, we're screwed. This isn't trading up even for Trey Lance. This is just saying, we're giving you a lot of money. You're going to come in. If you don't work, this all blows up in a way that we can't recover from. It's like trading for Deshaun Watson. Like, do you want to take the Colts, they know he works in the system. It's worked before. For both parties, it makes the most sense because I can't see a quarterback-needy team giving him anywhere near the kind of money the Colts would agree to give to him.
Yeah, he's coming off a torn Achilles, too. And that's the other part of it. I mean, he's not going to be ready to play.
Yeah, I don't know how cute I want to get if I'm Daniel Jones. Because, like, say I do get to first of all, I don't want to get tagged. And because what if I get tagged and I suck? And then if I go to free agency and then all of a sudden, whoops-a-daisies.
It's an interesting one for Jones, though, because even the transition tag is going to get him $38 million.
No, you get a lot of money for the year. But Daniel Jones is obviously going to want some kind of stability, and he's going to want a longer-term deal.
Right, and I would sign the longer-term deal with the Colts if I were him, even if it's far, far less per year than that. But
I gotta think it's more.
What else is going to be out there? You think the Colts would sign him to more than $38
for
million
all the
a year?
reasons I just stated? Is that he's had success? I don't know if no. I don't think they'd hire him for more than $38 a year. But I think that. If I'm a team that never had Jones in the building and I need a quarterback this badly that I'm so desperate, am I going to take him over a possible kid next year in the draft? If I sign you Daniel Jones, I'm saying I'm not drafting a quarterback in the first round. This is who is my quarterback. This is a regime changer. Your GM and coach are linked to this kid, and he's got to play right away, and he's got to play well right away. You basically have 9 games. You have 9 games. And if that blows up, it's Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. You're screwed. And then you're screwing around taking quarterbacks in the 3rd and 5th round of some draft and chucking them out there all haphazardly. You have Joe Flacco playing for you. It's a mess. If I'm a team that needs a quarterback, a bad team that needs a quarterback, there's no way in hell I'm investing in Daniel Jones. Indianapolis, he succeeded. It's Steichen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shane Steichen's offense, he's succeeded in that. You know he can do it. And like John said, he's coming off an incredible major injury. You saw how long it took Aaron Rodgers. It took him a year, a full season. He was no good.
Well,
he was no good last year either. But
good information from NFL insider Adam Schefter, who said on the Pat McAfee show, Colts and Jones getting a deal done, 50-50.
Oh, good.
I read something.
Son, what are the chances, Adam Schefter? I am told it is a 50-50 chance.
Honestly, I could have gone on Pat McAfee and I could have said that and been right.
Well, you guys get the same thing I do. There was a trade magazine the other day that had an article about Pat McAfee at the Combine, and he got all these good guests. Does it matter? And it was a serious article geared towards broadcasters. Does it matter that his interviews suck? It was like, if you in the crux of the article was,
he gets the great guest. Does it matter if the interviews are terrible once they're on?
Yes, that was the crux of the interview. Like if it was basically weighing getting the good guests on, but then having people tune in to hear those guests and having the interview suck.
Right.
That was kind of the basis of
My
it.
thought would be that sure, initially, no. Eventually, yes, that will catch up to you, and it does matter if the interviews suck.
Interviews got Pat McAfee his gig.
Yeah.
Those Aaron Rodgers interviews. He invested $1 million in getting Aaron Rodgers, and it paid off 100-fold. That guy made a very wise business decision because executives saw that these interviews were popping on YouTube, and now he owns his own company. He leases it out to ESPN. He's a very good businessman. He's a horrible broadcaster, but he's a very good businessman. He's very corny and annoying. Thank you. And not an ounce of genuine humor. Completely stupid. All right. But he punted.
So you feel a kinship.
Hey. All right. No, I can guarantee you that ain't happening tomorrow. That'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow. Toucher and Artie on the Sports Hub.